Boom! Okay. Hello, everyone. Instead of going a long spiel, I would like to start our session 6 with something special here. We have two new players, two brand new players. We have Catachrome, and we have Jamie. What do you go by now?
Snoozle Doozle.
Snoozle the Doozle. So,
Hello, hello.
Hello.
For those of you that don't know, if you can't see the upload date below the video, it's been 6 months since I've ran. And my mindset in running has completely changed. There will not be much in the visual aspect of this VOD, so if you want to just do something else while you listen back to it, go ahead. But for everyone that's here today, I have something I would like to tell you, especially the people that are here for the first time. The mindset of Dungeons & Dragons, as a Dungeon Master and a player, for me, is this. And you don't hear it a majority of the time, but I'm going to normalize saying it at the beginning of every VOD. As a Dungeon Master, who has to concentrate on 10 things at once and improvise 90% of things most of the time, the thing I tell myself is no matter what happens, I'm going to have fun today. Jamie,
Hell yeah.
even though this is your first time playing, no matter what happens, you're going to have fun today.
Okay.
Fun.
And Kat, even though you're probably equally as anxious and excited, equal parts, no matter what happens, just resolve to have fun today.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
And Avery, I saw you were kind of low on the inspiration earlier, so no matter what happens, I hope you resolve to have fun today.
Yeah, I am very excited to be getting back into this again. I've told you this many a time that this has been one of my favorite campaigns that I've played in, and this character that I play has been one of my favorites as well. So I'm just ready to get started here.
Oh, I bet you are, because I've like +1 to everything. I actually know what I'm doing. So everyone all together, no matter what happens, I'm going to have fun today. Say it with me. No matter what happens, I'm going to have fun
I'm
today.
gonna have fun today.
Okay.
Mr. Randy.
You're not telling that to me, you're telling that to yourself.
All mother-pulling babies will be beaten senseless by every able body in the bar.
Hard.
Don't give me ideas, because I will use that. Alrighty. So, to top us off, our older players, you're going to be sitting out for a scene here, so I can set up the setting. Let me be responsible and get my fucking timer going. Boop. Okay, there we go. See you later, phone battery. Have fun counting down for an hour and a half, you stupid nerd. Alright.
You stupid bitch. Idiot.
Get owned.
Fucking nerd.
Fucking.
It's funny I said I prepared the minimum, yeah, I'm scrolling through
spit on
notes
my
like, okay.
Fucking spit on my screen.
So, our story begins in the southern regions of Mephotia, a town on the a city-state bordering on the savage lands of Clemmacia, a mythical land that has not been much in the way of colonization due to its dangers, its mysteries, and its uncertainties. The region of Mephotia can be described as very, very densely foggy 150% of the time, and any travelers from outside have not been able to find their way in except for the extremely lucky, or in a particular case coming up, very unlucky occasion. The lost city-state of Mephotia is renowned for its secret services and renowned for its secret arts, and its people have only sent 2 pilgrimages before to colonize the Clemmacian region. Many of Mephosia's neighbors are probably extremely unlikely to know that the region itself exists. You guys can unmute. You gotta unmute. Silly heads. But, it's at this time that a carriage is being prepared, and one of the elder seers approaches, one small opossum girl, and her friend Harriet, who she has known since adolescence. So, Lilat, could I get you to describe... Well, I said it again. I meant to say Lilat. But I said Lilat. Feel free to introduce your character in meta and describe the way that she appears in your interpretation.
So I, Lila, am uh, a traveler trying to find my own purpose in life. Basically, I'm trying to, after a lifetime of me trying to figure out or being uncomfortable with the person that I was, I've decided to leave my home and venture out into the world to discover myself as a person and try to figure out what my true purpose in life is. Uh, my appearance is very, I guess I'd say, informal and sort of rugged. And yeah, that's about it.
I'm so glad y'all cannot see the VC chat because one of my players just brought the fucking Catboy thing again. My only response was shut.
Listen, the Catboy is relevant. Don't
Yes.
worry.
The Catboy is
You know
relevant to the
what? I'm gonna
conversation.
believe it is. I'm gonna believe it is to this.
Oh, I see it. Oh, I see what
I see it. I see it.
son of
Okay.
a bitch.
And it's at this time that you are walking through the Mephotian hallways of the capital alongside your childhood friend Harriet, who is a druid, and she is dressed in very paganistic garments, and she's very stocky and thin. And for pretty much most of your adolescence, as you two have been raised together, you could never tell if Harriet was either a raccoon, a fox, or a dog. Because she has the qualities of all three of these things. She has the darkened spots beneath her eyes. She has the elongated snout. And then she has the different colorations on her forearms and her legs and the tip of her tail. So, like, from certain angles, she totally is a gray fox. From a different angle, she's a raccoon. From another angle, probably the back, she is just straight up a dog Fonikin. You've never thought to ask. It hasn't been a problem. Except for that one time. But we don't talk about that one time. Harriet gets a little upset when you talk about that one time. As a matter of fact, she gets upset when you call her Harriet for some reason, but that's another time. You are following one of the seers down the hallway, and she speaks to you. So, my children, it's time for the both of you to go on your journey. It has been a long while, and we have been very reluctant to send another scouting party out into the savage lands of Clemmacia, but we do not do so without reason. As you know, little Harriet here, and she doesn't even turn about to pat her head, she just like reaches back and pats her head to the point where Harriet's druidic circlet kind of sinks down below her eyes and she has to forcibly pull it back up. Because it's a little bit of a too large, just a bit of a fit that is just a little too loose. We have an unique visitor, not from here, and it has given us hope. It has given us hope to, 1, return her from when she came, and 2, as you know, Lilac, Harriet here has become a very talented spellcaster, and she seeks to continue her conquest. She seeks to continue her training out in the other wilds, but in Mephotia we have very much in the way of secrets, but very little in the way of resources. And if our kind is to survive, we must send others out for the next generations. And for you as well. It is time for the next step of your journey. Your beliefs have brought you far, but your beliefs will not bring you further without experiences. And it's at this time that each of you walk into a room. The Elder Seer holds the door open for you. And, Razi, you may feel free to describe yourself and introduce yourself in a meta sense.
Alright, I'll try. My name is Rozzy. What is it? What else? How to describe? What else did,
talk about like your physical appearance.
Okay. I'm a very tall, lengthy, muscular rabbit. With what is it? With oh, I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
All right. Very tall, muscular rabbit with a hair bun, long ears that are, what is it? Oh my god, I'm so nervous. I'm sorry. Long ears. Oof. Don't mind me, like, taking a while to think.
Do you want me to spot you on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the room is a... Okay, I described these other two characters as Faunican. For the purpose of your build and everything, you are actually a Great Faun, which is essentially big, strong Faunican.
Yeah.
Kind of same, but different. So, the character in the corner has been hunched over, and she is incredibly tall and incredibly muscular, standing at about 7'5" tall. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And you can tell from her mannerisms that she has a very wild head of hair, and the garments she wears are very torn apart. Across her chiseled abs from the left clavicle of her ribs down to the right side of her waist, she has a nasty greenish-brownish scar. From unbeknownst sources, but hey, you've only been here in Bephotia for about 2 weeks, and you've had enough.
Yes.
And you have been kept in what I can only describe as... Do you know those, like, padded rooms that are protected so you can't hurt yourself or others?
Oh,
Oh.
paddy wagon.
It's... Well, yeah, it is more like a paddy wagon. It's not even a room. You've been in, like, a very confined space for a while because upon arriving, they have noticed that you would act out, and all these people are very, very meek. They're very shy. So it's like, enough of this. So as everyone enters the room, you see the first people you've seen since your communal feeding and your communal people checking in on you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually the first time that you, Rozzy, and Lilat will probably have met from face to face. But
Yes.
But before all of this, the seer says, "Look upon this one. This one is not of our own, and I am sure she would like to leave as soon as possible."
I see.
Rozzy, what are you doing at this time? What nervous tics are you doing at this time for being trapped in a small room with bars for like a week and a half?
Well, let's see. What was she doing?
Don't think about it too much. Just say what you would do if you're about to have a mental breakdown, but also mad. Get into it.
I'm sorry. I'm just I was stealing all the food.
I know I should be. If I could comment.
Yes.
I don't know, just my personal opinion. Has anybody seen Elf?
Oh god.
Oh my god.
So she's doing like a Will Ferrell level of screaming, like ah!
Basically.
I got you on this one too. So it's at this point that you are large enough and you have enough mass that you are actually able to almost completely tilt the cart over on its side, and there have been barricades made of tatami and wood to actually continually hold it up at this time. You do not mean to be a force to be reckoned with, but you simply are.
Just because of her big muscular stature, she accidentally breaks shit.
Okay, so it's at this time, and it's like, you two are going. Well, you two, you three are going to be headed to the Clemmacia region. I've sent you there because there are many trials and tribulations that you may experience abroad, many people you might meet, many secrets you might learn to one day bring back here. Or not. Your choice. BT Dubs, when I stop talking, that's time for you to like chime in and talk.
Alright,
Okay,
I'm sure I probably should have clarified that.
Yeah.
Line.
I'm so nervous. I've never done something like this before, so
That's okay. This is your first time.
This is your first time, and the less you think about it and just react to what you would naturally, the easier it is. Because that's exactly what I'm doing. I just react to what I'm told.
Yeah, seriously, just head empty, no thoughts. It's really one of the better ways to play.
Yeah, OOT,
Yeah.
if I walk up to you and say, hey, do you want a cheeseburger? And your response is not, yes, give it to me, I'm going to raise my eyebrows at you. But
alright.
but just do it that way. Just do it that way. Just react to what you're told. You don't have to be like, I am this character. You are your character. I will not dictate the way you roleplay. So just going forward, just go with your gut. Try not to think about it too much. It is fine. We are friends here.
Okay.
Okay.
But yes, I understand. And I will make sure not to fail you.
Fail me. Well, listen. It is not Mephotia you'll be failing. This quest is for the two of you. The three of you. Correction. This creature cannot be here any longer. She has destroyed 5 of our best caravans, and this is the last one that we have in decent shape is the one we are going to send you out on.
Creature? Who the hell are you calling creature?
And the Seed Seer opens her eyes for the first time and gives you a very judgmental glare. And then she...
Look,
I
man.
feel like creature.
Look, man, I was just kind of hungry, stressed. Everybody giving me these goddamn looks.
I feel like creature might be a bit of an overstatement for this person, but I will make sure that she is out of your hair and of no concern to you anymore.
Come on, man. I've traveled a long way.
Well, it's interesting you've traveled a long way, because the only way to enter Mephotia is to walk the correct paths through the lost forests that surround the region, and you somehow guessed it and got in and wandered out to the point of near starvation.
Well, I can't walk correctly because of my big goddamn mitts.
That sounds like a personal problem. Anyway, if the lot of you are ready to go, we have the carriage out front. It's at this time you notice Harriet is not beside you. She is just gone. You can hear the footfalls down the hallway of, like, excited running. She does not seem like she wants to be here. Wow, looks like your
Jeez.
friend is eager to leave. Oh,
Yes.
I
Seems
suppose
so.
I should get you, what was your name again? And she's, like, kind of looking directly toward the big one in the cage.
My name's Rozzy. Pleasure
Rozzy.
to meet you.
Pleasure to
I
meet
think.
you, she says as she holds out her hand.
The pleasure's all mine.
Well, so, Rozzy, she's holding her hand out to you.
Yes.
Do you take it?
Oh wait, what is the yes?
Okay, it's at this time that you feel an arcane energy tingle all the way up your arm, to your shoulder, and to your body. Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Wisdom saving throw? What kind of dice?
You roll a d20.
D20.
And then you add your wisdom modifier to it, and I actually think you're proficient in that, so...
5.
Okay. So what happens is in a poof of smoke, she casts polymorph on you and turns you into a tiny bunny that she could hold in the palm of her hand.
Oh, god damn it.
So you are a very small green bunny. You've lost your ability to use class features for a short time, and you've lost your ability to, like, speak. So you just sniff and wiggle your nose, and as the angriest, smallest bunny most people have seen. And though you want to wriggle and thrash around, she scritches behind your ears and carries you down the hallway, and you feel a sense of calm. One,
Cool.
for the room around you being probably 20 times the size than that small room was. But being relieved of the burden of the presence of mind of being a person.
Oh my fucking god.
That is this is the essence of magic. It can do anything.
Oh my god.
Okay. And moving on to the next scene, what happens here is, unfortunately, as you're approaching the caravan to leave, there is another paddy wagon in the back of it. Interestingly enough, Rozzy, this is not the first time this has happened.
Uh-oh.
Because these paddy wagons actually have very, very small holes in them. To where it's like the size of a small animal. So to get you in and out of these paddy wagons, they have polymorphed you into a bunny and pulled you out or put you in. And then dispelled it so there's no way you can escape unless you break it.
Oh my god, this is interesting.
And this is precisely what happens too, is like you're put to the paddy wagon again, and she pushes you in, and as soon as she closes and latches the door, she releases her concentration on polymorph, and you're just kind of sitting befuddled on your hands and butt. like I fell for it again. God damn it.
God damn it. I'm a fucking dumbass, dude.
I'm at my fucking limit.
I'm
Okay.
at my fucking limit. This shit happens every
then-
time.
And then it's at this point that the LRC seer like ruffles your hair one more time, and what she does is she embraces you and pulls your head toward her bosom, and she kind of lays her head on your head because she's like 5'10". So she's like a head-ish taller than you are, Lilet.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And then
So Lilet's
and then she says quietly to you, "Be well, my child. The only way to come back is to find another member of the Mephotian city-state. Because, for reasons of our protection, we cannot divulge the secret to getting back into the city-state. Not yet. Not until you're ready.
I understand.
And understand that once you leave, it is going to be very, very difficult to come back. Are you prepared?"
Yes. I'm ready to take this next step in my journey.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
You will find a chest of arms on the carriage. And Rozzy, you find your items in the back of the paddy wagon are just strewn across the bottom. So your armor, well, you don't wear armor, you're a monk. Spoilers,
Yeah.
she's a monk. So your bamboo staff and all of your other things are there. And when you get on the caravan, Lilet, your heavy armor and all of your stuff that is available to you on your character sheet will be there for you. You're just kind of
Okay.
dressed casually as of now.
Right.
And then Harriet calls out to you, "Come on, Lilet, it's time to go. I've been waiting for this for so long."
I'll be right over there.
It's and the elder seer takes it as you pull away from the embrace. You can tell it lasts just a little too long. Like, have you ever? It's like a goodbye that lasts too long. It's too hard.
Right.
It's hard to leave, but it's hard to not leave. It's like there is no center. It's like Arby's. Either you love it or you hate it. Either you want to stay there or you want to leave immediately.
Yeah, I
Is
understand.
Rozzy still a tiny bunny?
No, you are normal
Okay.
size. You are in a
Alright.
space you cannot escape easily.
Oh,
But thankfully, this one is ventilated, And there is actually a small chest of supplies in there, so there's like lots of bread and cooked rice and stuff inside.
That's good.
So it's not like a panic room, it's like an actual like very, very, very restricted living space.
Oh.
Okay. It's at this time that you can see Harriet wave her druid spellcasting. Spellcasting focus, and then you can see the wind crystal within the globe on the front of this caravan begin to whir and create pastel green arcane energies, and this causes the caravan to automate. This is not a horse-drawn carriage; it is a wind-powered carriage.
Ooh.
So it's simulating a very small storm on a very simple like energy conversion. The carriage is not very fast. I would imagine it probably travels maximum like parking lot speed. So if you're not an insane person, 20 miles per hour. And a lot of you ride out about half an hour. And it's at this time that your friend Harriet releases a very large breath of relief. And then once more she raises her druidic spellcasting focus above her head. And as you watch, after a short visual burst of small leaves, her appearance takes on a much more masculine tone. The feminine vestments that she once wore become well-fitting for a young adult man. Even the baritone of her voice changes. I did it, Lilat. After several years, that should be the very last time I'm called by my birth-given name. He then stands up and shouts into the heavily obscured woods surrounding you. Do you hear that, Mephotia? My name is Harvins, and I am a man! And then after this moment, he falls back and his arms go completely limp, and you can see his smile draw across his face. And he just sits there panting.
I had no idea. Why didn't you ever tell me?
What do you mean, Lila? You've known this for a while. I just can't, in front of the elders, I haven't been able to really, you know how this works. It's just, people, you're one way, but people tell you you're not. And especially it's the way of my family. It feels that again, we only ever saw each other in school. We operate on different schools of magic. I don't know if your family was as accepting as mine was. As you know, the first spell I ever learned as a druid was Alter Self. And every time I fall into a depressive state, every time I am called Harriet, I just sit alone and I look at the water surface and I cast my favorite little spell to see who I'll become in time. Magic is a temporary substitute, but one day I want to get there. It's my reason for going to Clemmacia, you know. I keep saying it's to pursue the pursuit of nature and magic, and that is true. But the pursuit of magic is kind of my personal journey. I'm sorry we haven't talked about this more. We don't get to see each other very often. You know how secretive Mephotia is.
Yes, I completely understand. Admittedly, I feel bad for not really asking before, but I can see now why you kept this such a secret, or why you were so secretive about this around me. I can totally understand I can totally understand why this is something that has been on your mind for so long, and I respect that.
I mean, you were one of the only people I was ever comfortable talking about it. You're the first person to know, and then he looks over his shoulder into the carriage at this point and kind of forgot Razi was there up until this very moment. And I'm like, Well, congratulations. You happen to be the second person that knows.
Oh damn, that's totally cool by me, man.
By the way, I happened to leave in excitement earlier. I don't think we've been introduced. My name is Harvins. I am an apprentice of the... I'm apprentice of the Circle of Dreams Druidic School.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I am Razi. I am just a far traveler who somehow got thrown into all this bullshit.
So, how did you know which way to walk to get through the Lost Forest? It is a 1 in 10,000 chance that anyone would guess that correctly. I guess in my lifetime, in our lifetime, Lilac, we discovered what happened is someone guessed the combination correctly.
Yes, I'm not very smart though. I wish I could tell you, but I don't remember.
Well, something that I can tell you from personal experiences. Our people are very smart, and they are very experienced with what they know, but they're very closed-minded. We fear our neighbors too much, and we fear others, which is why you were locked up. Good job on destroying those 5 carriages, by the way.
I guess it's not a problem.
I will admit, it is pretty impressive work.
You know, big rabbit just comes and waltz into town looking for something to eat. Everybody freaks out at you because you're tall, and then you accidentally lean against something, and then fucking there it goes.
If I would have known earlier, I would have offered you something.
During your conversation, the thick fogs of Mephotia finally release. Razi, this is the first time you've seen sunlight in probably around 2 weeks, and it feels like an exaggeratedly long time that it kind of burns your skin a little bit as it touches your fur, but then you're like, oh wait, this is good, this is fine. And Lilac, this is probably the first time in many years, I will let you decide how long, that you've even seen the sun. The fogs of Mephotia are incredibly deep, and they are actually extraterrestrial. They are not extraterrestrial, extra natural. Woo! Alien fog. They're extra natural. They are kept to keep the location of this lost city state lost.
You know, this would be nice if I had all my fur, but because I've these goddamn gashes on my fur, this burns. But also kind of feels nice, you know. After being in darkness for a long time.
I want to break.
Forgot how nice the sun can really be sometimes. The sunlight can just feel so relaxing.
See, this is part of what I'm pursuing, is you can't really be one with nature when you have a bunch of cruddy dark woods all the time. Humidity 110%. That's not the life for Harvins.
And I come from... It's bright.
Speaking of Lilac, you did mention something about a personal journey. Could you expand on that more? Or do you not really know where you're headed just yet?
Well, you see, it's something I've really kept closed off towards other people. Admittedly, I've never really told anyone, but while I am pursuing the art of magic and discovering the world in this journey, there's a bit more to it than that. You see, you've talked a lot about how our people are closed-minded, how they can be really intelligent, but also very prone to not accepting things outside of what they've already known. And with your own personal journey, with how you were feeling unsatisfied with who you were back at home, a part of me feels the same way about myself too. I've just never told anyone.
Lilat, you and I are a special breed, but I feel, in a different vein, most people feel that way. Hopefully in time when we get there, you'll meet many and more that you can share this information with, and I hope to share this information with other people too. We have a long journey to go, but when we get there, I have something for you that I've relied on since I started my journey to finding my true self. The roads we take to our ends are a touch different, but the destinations are more similar than they are dissimilar. Now that we're finally out of that dump, what say we enjoy a feast provided by our gullible guardians?
You know I enjoy that very much.
So it's at this time that I almost misgendered and dead named my own fucking character. Oh god. I literally almost read the wrong part of my notes. So I'm like, Randy, you're only supposed to do this before the reveal. Don't ruin it. I almost did. So Harvins pulls out a lunchbox for each of you, and what it has as various different sauced cooked chickens and rice and Mephotian produce like bamboo shoots, carrots, and potatoes and the like.
Ah, I see.
Okay. And with that done, I'm going to cut away from this scene, and I'm going to bring our older players in. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So our new players have had some time in the sun. Let's get our old characters some sun time, except kind of not. But you'll see. You'll see. Get your dice ready. We're gonna roll the first dice of the game.
Ooh.
All right. God, I wrote too many fucking notes. This is why I don't write scripts. You're only supposed to do it for establishment reasons. But that's what I did. Haha. All right. So, as a lot of you remember, we left off at the end of spring. I think it was probably 29th of spring.
Yeah.
Since then, it has been about 5 or 6 days, and the township of Stone's Throw has changed. Because seemingly overnight, crystal nodes have begun to very, very slowly grow in real time. Any surface that is barren of plant life or other living matter has become a host for an array of extra-natural fey wilderness materials. Sprouting in differing shades of reds, yellows, deep blues, pastel greens, indigos, and stark purples. The places that they grow over the dome of Stone's Throw turns out to be planned, because the way that the crystals grow over those large like holes become like almost a kaleidoscopic sheet. Like the crystals meet in the center and they shine different colors depending on the angle of the sun.
Like stained glass?
Yeah, it's like
natural stained glass, but natural occurring crystal.
I love that.
Yeah, and so like Stone's Throw on the interior was like kind of a dank brown and bluish color. Now it's all sorts of different colors, and as the sun changes positions, it kind of shifts. It's to the point the colors are so kind of saturated that a simple peasant could wear just an undyed white outfit, and they could wear many colors of the rainbow at once, free of charge. It's just a nice day.
It's free real estate, even.
And what a lot of you have been doing is, around this base of Stone's Throw, there have been some mining operations, and the woods have been largely deforested, and there has been an exterior marketplace built around the base, and the inside of Stone's Throw has been mostly moved around and converted to a place of festivities. There is a circular ring that seems to be sectioned off for performances and other such sorts of thing. You've seen a lot of Great Fawn down there and beast races kind of participating in martial blood sports as like rehearsals. Of course, all the other patrons of Stone's Throw will have put money on it and betting. And that is the point where they have realized, like, this is a business opportunity. We should capitalize on this. But anyway, Celia, Gowler, Tia, and Rue all stand at the top of the shell of the hill that forms Stone's Throw's identifying landmark. You remember the hollowed out dome, like the hill that it is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a staircase around the base that leads up to the top, and there's a wooden platform as on the top with a podium. You four, Elwyn, Rorik, and Puko are also up there. And it's at this time that each of you are settled. You have been woken up pretty early in the goddamn day. Like, the sun is barely, like, peeking over the horizon. You're still kind of blinking the sleep out of your eyes. The only context that you have to being up this early is that, Seru, you remember the blue dragonborn woman? Who served as the... She seemed very insistent on being called Duchess Leanne for some reason. It might be a publicity stunt, but you guys are on a first name basis, so you can call her Sarah as you like, and I will as well. She has invited you to a ceremony of sorts. And you've gone around this back way because as the days have gone by, they have expanded the entrance to Stone's Throw, and they have built a massive, like, iron gate across it. And across this podium, it is held in place by several bits of stone and rope. It's very haphazard. You don't know how it's holding itself in place, like, from a mechanical standpoint.
Only thing holding this place together is hopes and dreams.
It's a little, Celia kind of tests one of the boards with her foot. Rickety, but the view up here is beautiful.
As you're taking in the view, you adjust your weight on the board and it goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in taking a view of the sun from this way down.
You know, Celia clenches her jaw. It's like, come on, Geller, you can fly at least.
I can. I'm more worried about you.
I think I'll be fine. It's Tia that I'm worried about more than anything.
She is like standing off in the distance, clearly unsure because she is very aware of how massive she is. And for context for the new players, Tia is almost like 1 inch off from being 8 feet tall and weighs like 275 pounds.
It's
Yeah.
okay. You can say it, Mo. You can say dump truck ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course she has dump truck ass. What characters of mine don't?
It's at this point that Ruthie is also sitting beside you, and she has one of her arms crossed. Not one of her arms. She only has one arm. Ha! She has her legs crossed. And what she is, she's this giant, great fawn woman who has, like, brownish blonde hair. And she has... Razi, for the thickest part of your arm, her forearms are much larger, and she's also muscular. I would describe them as anchor arms, like Popeye arms, somewhat.
Yeah.
And she is also a massive woman, like 7'9", and her muscle mass, she probably weighs about 370 pounds.
She could probably palm your face and pick you up.
Yes.
I didn't realize Tia was taller than Rue too, Jesus.
Yeah, you're longer. The Rue is denser.
Long.
Yeah, Rue is-
Yeah, she is. Of course she is.
It's at this time that Rue also speaks up and says, Rue satisfied. Rue like work with stone. Rue find difficulty working with stone with only clamp and hand. Rue used to have 2 hand. Now only 1.
I'm still surprised you didn't even bring that Earth cluster with you. Wouldn't it have been a nice little amenity for you to have, Rue?
Rue like to live with consequence. Rue not careful, so choppy chop.
That's fair. I figure you don't have to live with the burden if you don't want to, but if it's something you feel like you have to deal with, well, we all have our own pasts to deal with, I suppose.
Beside, have you seen Rue guns? And then she flexes her one arm.
Oh, I've seen them. I've seen
I
them.
don't call them that. These pythons are sharp.
I also
You hear like a cannon go off in the distance.
I also want to remind everyone
These muscles are registered weapons.
registered weapons. I also want to remind everyone that she has a +6 strength, so she actually has above the cap for player character strength. But most of her other stats suck ass. So
Brilliant.
I was looking over her character sheet. I'm like, oh my god, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh wait, hey Randy, quick question, because I just
Yes.
realized something about the whole ricketiness.
Yes.
For Misty Step, does momentum get maintained?
That is a good question. What do you mean, like if you're moving?
If I were, say, falling off of this mountain.
If you use Misty Step to move up or down, it would just subtract that from the falling damage calculation.
I was gonna say if I moved vertically before I hit the ground. Oh no.
It would increase it by 30 feet then.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I will say that, like, if you're falling for some reason, you want to use that to reduce the amount of damage you take, go for it. Like, it's your spell and you took it, you use it.
I see.
I also wanted to mention that, if it happens, but, like, if someone's going to take fall damage and they're fully aware of it, I'm going to allow them to make an acrobatics check to gain resistance to the fall damage, because it's going to happen so much that it's just like, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't give something to insulate it. Anyway.
Hey,
I am still
But,
getting I'm still getting flashbacks every time I hear the word fall damage.
Oh yeah, it's
But,
fall damage, not fun.
Duchess Leanne, or, Miss Saru, why have you called us up here? Truth be told, I very much enjoy the sunrise, so being up this early is no trouble for me, but I'm still a little confused as to what the occasion is.
How about, and then she kind of steps forward, she clears her throat, and this is as a lot of you remember, this is a chromatic blue dragonborn woman who has her black hair back in a very wild ponytail, and she has piercing yellow eyes, and she seems to be wearing an outfit of the origin of, like, the further east, and on her hip, you didn't see this before, but she actually has a what seems to be, I'm more cultured than this, but for the sake of the setting and all the characters that are here, it seems to be a curved longsword and a scabbard. You did not see this before. You would know this as a katana. IRL.
I got you.
And then it's at this
Yes,
point.
before.
It's at this point. I did. I don't remember. Last time I ran was 6 months ago, dude. But anyway, it's
Well,
at this
to
point.
be fair, she and her, because Tia worked most of the time.
Ye-
They were in Stone South before.
And then Sarah speaks to you and is like, "Well, child, how about you look down and you might see what this is all about. All of our fruits of labor have led to this day. I've been waiting a very long and a very busy year for this to finally happen."
Oh yeah, it's the start of the busy season, isn't it? I can't remember, someone mentioned to me that you all get a lot of travelers around this time of year.
And here they come now. Without even needing to stand, you can see just a very large fleet of caravans, like, side by side, back to back. There's the occasional, like, instead of, like, caravans are for normal people, but, like, you also see various fae and faunican that are riding in on summoned clouds. There are a couple of magic carpets flying above, but they are all kind of gathering below, and you hear the shouting of several officials like, "Whoa, whoa, stop, stop, stop," as they're, like, about to kind of, like, get run over. But after the chaos and madness, it's at this point that Sarah speaks up. She's like, "Well, everyone, showtime. I may have a surprise for one of you. Lilat and Razi, your caravan is toward the back of this. So at this point, you're arriving to this seemingly hollowed out hill. It's got several chromatic colors of crystals growing on it. There are several empty stalls and shops set up around it. And as it stops, you can see. I almost did it again. I almost dead named my own fucking character. Let me just change that note. Just delete the dead name. There we go. That's easier.
Get rid of it for good.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the dead name like a normal person would. So Harvins is busy getting another wind cluster ready, and he's messing with the receptacle. And it's at this time that you notice, and Celia, Galler, and Tia, can all of you give me a Constitution save real quick?
Oh
Oh,
lord.
Oh,
Sure. That's a 13.
11? Wait.
that's a 14.
Okay, so the lot of you are good. I was looking for a 10. It's at this time you see Sarah reach up and tap on her brooch, and on the third tap, you can hear every subtle noise of when she moves, like her clothing. It essentially is broadcasting out like speakers, and you are standing beside the receptacles that basically are the speakers.
Oh god.
Oh, it's like clipping microphone.
Yeah. And it's at this point she looks down and she's like, "Oh, well, is this thing working?" She's like, "Oh, good."
It is.
Okay. It's at this point that she raises her hands and steps up to the wooden podium. She's like, "Greetings, one and all, to Stone's Throw. I am Lady Leanne, and it has been my dream ever since I was but a hatchling to create a place of commerce for the common dragon, woman, or beast, for regardless of background, qualification, or education, one could start to bring their lives toward a higher echelon than before." She clears her throat as she bends down to remove a long, slender object wrapped in canvas cloth, and she leans it against the podium that she stands behind. "Now, I will keep this short, as the lot of you seem very, very eager to begin your commerce pursuits, and I see a lot of you seem to be unaffiliated. Do not worry, we'll have opportunities for the lot of you. In this spot of last year, on this same day, the scourge of my kind, a dragon-born clan in the service of Tiamat, were slew to the last. This mound, once colorless and cold, as of today, earns her new life and new purpose. But one word of warning to those that would try to undo this last year of growth, progress, love, sweat, and tears." It's at this moment that you can kind of hear her lick her lips over the broadcast. And then she reaches down with her right hand. She grips the scabbard on her hip with her other hand. In the course of the next couple seconds, through the brooch, there is the keen sound of singing steel. "Wa-ting, wa-ting!" as she cleaves in two places behind her, in twain diagonally. The crowd falls in silent and bated breath as the prolonged sound of steel scraping scabbard is audibly heard over the broadcast of the next words. So you just hear a little shh. "Stone's Throw takes no prisoners. Not now. Not ever." Chink! The sound of the crossguard touching the scabbard rings over the crowd. The ground below the collective feet of everyone, including ourselves, begins to rustle and shake a bit as the 30-foot-tall heavy iron gate that bars the entry to Stone's Throw begins to slowly descend into the ground, providing passage into Hamlet proper. Also,
So anime.
yeah, we're also going to do something fun. Could the lot of you, older players,
Actually,
Celia...
I was gonna actually ask. I had something in mind.
Oh yeah?
If I could,
Go ahead.
just for like the little celebratory thing, I would like to like say have a piece of parchment and just tear it up into as many scraps as I can, throw it, scatter it into the air, and cast fairy fire on it.
Oh!
Hey.
So as the bits of rope are dashed into the air, the particulates of the rope and this parchment you are throwing outward, what color is the fairy fire? I'm curious.
Celia's particularly is a blue and green.
So from the this is actually very nice because Saru was blue, so it kind of accentuates her features, and you can
Just
see
work that slot off.
you can see this just great blue plume of flame burst out as the particulates light, and it happens to shine a chromatic light down to the crowd through a crystal that was growing there, and you can kind of hear the crowd uproar like a ooh at the spectacle. But the lot of you, Saru turns around and addresses the lot of you. "I have with me several esteemed guests who have helped us, coming out of seemingly nowhere. They are no different than you, people who want a different opportunity, another chance, and, moreover, the preservation of safety for the common person. If any of you would like to step forward and say a few words, I may have a surprise for the one of you. If one of you want to step to the podium and speak a short message to address the crowd, you are free to. I will tell you right now, the older members of Stone's Throw, before this giant influx of people, you are held in somewhat high regard. You are like co-workers, you are like comrades, there is rapport between you.
Yeah.
You are respected.
Would you like to go first, Mel? Because if not, I will.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Galler, like, jerks Tia by the shoulder.
You can also just straight up pass if you don't want to. That is an option.
I was just waiting for you to stop
Yeah.
explaining. Okay. Tia will... Still nervous, but a little bit esteemed from the last time she went up on a stage. It wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Pretty okay, actually. She, like...
Yeah. Celia will pat her on the back as she walks up.
She blushes a little. So she's gonna step up to the podium and roar out in her very loud voice, considerably louder than she normally is.
That's pretty loud.
So she's very loud.
Oh,
So loud. Well, she is a dragon.
It's at this moment that you hear a keening as Saru pins the brooch to your shirt so that your voice will broadcast
Sure.
properly. There you go. There you go, dear. Now go on. The world is waiting.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Tia tries to silently clear her very long throat. Tia is happy to see all of you here. Tia isn't anyone special, just like Lady or Duchess Leanne said. Excuse me, I get my formalities mixed up. Tia has nothing but respect for the lot of you, as she knows the fear, anxiety, and she like struggles to get that word out because she's kind of new to common. Anxiety and fear it takes to start a new life, wherever you come from. So it is with heavy heart that I welcome you to Stone Toss, and I hope that whatever you've come for, you find. Thank you. She like turns to
It's-
her.
I like
Alright.
that. I like that it's canon that Celia calls it stone toss.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh God.
I just got that.
forgot.
Oh,
All right.
I-
Celia will like go over to like Tia and be like, "You did great." Then she'll go up and take the stage next, if I may.
And then
Nice.
the both of you pass the bridge between one another, and another keening rings to the crowd as you're moving it from person to person.
Professional setup here.
You can also kind of see Saru like grit her teeth audibly as the sounds happen each time, just like
Instant regret.
just like everyone that is on top of it with you. You can see Rue's sour expression sour a little more for a moment. You can see Puko, like some tears come out of her eyes
Yeah.
in the corners as the sound comes up.
her mouth just
Whose
goes like an
idea
egg
was
shape.
this?
And then after the sound kind of transpires, you can see her eyes like in opposite directions for a second as like her mental capacities return. And just like
Oh god.
Greetings to all. My name is Celia Tangletail, and I welcome you to Stone's Throw. Whether ye be a person of faith, a man of honor, a person of which who likes to show off their brawn, a traveler who is just looking for a place to call home, we welcome you. I hope that you can all get along and join us here in this new opportunity for prosperity. She's going to bow deeply, strum a few upbeat notes on her lute so that it goes out through the brooch, and then step back.
I'm not gonna say it. Not third time.
da 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 da.
No,
Very
okay,
upbeat
so here's
Brandy.
Wonderwall.
Here's
There you go,
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
No, she plays fucking Roundabout. Boom.
May I should just make a bard character that's whose meta is to play that right before I'm about to end the session? No, I'm not gonna do that.
I was thinking you should
thought
just
you were
cast
gonna say a
Shatter
bard.
right at the drop there.
I thought you were gonna say a bard whose only motivation in life is to show people how well he can play Wonderwall.
Yes.
Oh god, I need to write that down at some point. Just someone that they only knows one he only knows one song, but every bit of bardic inspiration just changes the lyrics or the chord.
Oh.
Then you just hear in the audience, now do classical gas.
But it's after your speech, Celia, the crowd rouses beneath you. Galler, you want a turn, or are you?
Oh, sure.
Okay, go for it. Once again, the brooch passes, and everyone
not again.
Oh, no.
everyone collectively cringes as it's passed once for the third time.
He just like slowly. He just like beams his eyes into like different directions. Like, did that just happen? He just like
Bro, have you ever
slowly puts the pin on his scarf just to make sure it doesn't make any more noise.
Bro, you ever been in a movie theater and you're like way too close to the fucking speakers? Shit's rough. It's so rough.
Oh.
Also, I just realized something. If I can like go meta real quick,
Yes.
have we like really described our characters to Razi and Lilat? Like, do they really know what we look like? Should we?
Let me give you a very
What kind
Randy
of
response. Oh, you will.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Gallery, go ahead.
Very carefully.
Just to clear the throat first. All right, everybody, you heard from the Duchess that you've been waiting on here long enough. So let me just keep it short. If here in Stonewall, we don't believe in endings, only beginnings that we haven't heard the stories yet. So let's make this year's story one that we won't forget. And see.
Okay, and you're gonna pass the brooch back.
Yeah, she's gonna preemptively like cover her ears.
I
Just
just
like-
realized all three of you called it something different.
I called him by the right name.
No, Celia called it the correct name. Stonewall and Stone Toss were the other variations.
I like Stonewall.
Look,
I
you're not
actually
good at
like this
canon.
canon. I actually want to make like every faction call it something different because no one's like clear of what it's called, but it's like the same area.
I know.
That's gonna be a
God
physical.
damn it, I was thinking too much about Wonderwall.
That's anyway. Here's
Yeah, that's fair.
here's Stonewall. And then I think there's a spell that bards can cast that actually pretty much does that.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure what it's called, but
Oh, we're terrible.
Probably wall of
But
something.
as you patch the brooch back to Seru, she smartly this time taps it a few times to turn it off as you're switching it.
No,
thank God.
before he hands it
And then-
over, he just holds it in his hands like it picks up on the shelf. I said Stonewall, didn't I?
Oh no. And then for a moment she like speaks and only you guys can hear it. She's like, "Oh, and the speaker turn on. It's like, "To our esteemed guest here, I will give one of them a gift now.
The one who pronounced it right.
Let's see who I should give it to here." And she can kind of eyes up of you, all of you up and down. She picks up the canvas cloth that she has leaned against it, and the object she has is about 8 feet long, and you can kind of tell that it's
Jesus.
heavy. It's heavy on one side because she kind of struggles to pick it up. Well, she doesn't really struggle. It's like you don't really expect it to be heavy on one side, and then you go, "Oh God," and you correct. Like I'm sure everyone knows what that feeling's like. So I want each of you three to roll a d6 and tell me what you roll. If you roll the same number as me, you get a prize.
I love rolling dice. Oh, okay.
I got a 4.
I got a 6.
I got a 5.
Hey, I rolled a 5.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
perfect. I was thinking it should go to Tia because she spent the most time with Seru.
She
Sarah
tried
White.
really hard saying that speech in a language she's not great at, so kudos to her.
And then Saru holds it up and says, "It is my deepest honor to pass on to you the mark of my militaristic days. At one time, my scales shimmered under the fields of battle, but now I sit content on my pile of trinkets and treasures in my collection. And Stone's Throw likely will become the shiniest, largest gem within this collection. May it provide you valor and status as did I in the hardest of times. And then Seru passes it to you. Would you like to unwrap it?
Yes.
Okay.
Tia, like,
So-
carefully unwraps it with her nails, because her palms are big.
Okay.
Not as big as anybody else's here, but they are still big.
So here it is in VC. This is a glaive of Bright Beginnings. It is a +1 glaive. So on top of the normal benefits, you gain a +1 to any hit checks and damage rolls made with it. It is also not identified. As you can see, the haft of this glaive is decorated with many interlocking white dragon scales, held in place by an adhesive mixed with the ivory ashes of both its victims and its previous owners, struck down in battle. You run your clawed hands down the curved blade of the sharpened end, and just when you think you can read the draconic script that appears, it fades once again. Oh no. She got so excited she died. Hello?
Oh no.
She's speechless.
Makes sense.
F save. F save.
I will say, out of character, that is like the definition of Tia. Like, something good happens and then suddenly it's gone.
Just-
I'm so sorry for that.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
That
It was
was
like
so
good timing.
The time, I was like, oh, she
Comedic
got.
timing,
I was like, she
everything.
got so excited she died.
It faded. Doom.
Something good happens, dies immediately.
Her brain just goes empty. She makes like dragon scrock.
Brain just makes the fucking fart reverb sound.
Oh no.
Man, if at some point I learn how to broadcast sound effects through my mic in Discord, you guys are screwed if I play D&D with you. Because I'm just gonna be like, I cast prestidigitation to cause a distraction 30 feet in the distance.
I want to download a soundboard just so I can do that.
And for fun, I will play it. Oh, well, that wasn't the one I was looking for, but now it's in the mud. You're welcome, everyone.
Yay!
Don't make me get the bot in here.
Alright, so-
I have it deafened, so it won't do anything.
Oh, I see.
Sorry. And at this point, Seru sends you back with the rest of your group. She's like, enjoy yourselves, everyone! Please bring your registration collectively to the merchant's ward upon entry. She taps her brooch 3 more times, and the broadcast ceases. Each of you collectively hear a rousing cheer. Yay! Hooray! Huzzah! As the guards nearly get run over to death again. And the collective footfalls of hundreds of beast folk and fae folk below.
Ooh, this market's going to be bustling. I'm very excited to get my hands on some new things.
I'm gonna tell you too, this is about the size of a typical, like, market day for you back in Oyura. Like, this is kind of more familiar territory for you, just based on the size here. Oh, by the way, as you both are walking from the podium, Tia, you can see Seru mouths a phrase to you, but you kind of catch part of it. If you want to give me an insight check, I will tell you what that phrase is.
I will to do the check. Alright, so what is insight?
Insight,
Let me
yes.
check on my
Because you're trying to kind of read her lips, and it's not... Well, actually... Yeah, go ahead and roll it. We'll see what happens.
I was asking what insight uses.
Wisdom.
We still...
Good, okay. Okay, and I'm proficient in insight. So that is a fat 14, so that's 16, right? 16. Been a long time since I did fast maths. Yeah, 16.
Okay. And in what she does is she says this very, very quietly that only you can catch it. I'm going to DM a phrase to you as I say it. She says, Gololak Karukata.
Tia gets a small shiver on up her spine as she nods.
And Galler, you are out of earshot, so you totally don't hear this. I know you also speak Draconic, so you just totally don't even hear it.
Yeah.
Did I see that happening?
All right, let's see here. How much time do we have until our first break? Because I want to get the next thing done real quick. Oh, good. This will be perfect. Okay, and as the Duchess's speech ends, you guys can stay unmuted if you want for this one.
Okay.
Lilat and Razi, Harvins climbs back onto the Mephotian carriage as he kind of starts the apparatus up again. And Razi, you have been bonified and removed from the carriage, and then unbonified again, so you are actually free. You're free.
Yay!
Finally, you may stretch as you want.
He's a free bun.
And then Harvins addresses you.
Damn.
Here's the stop for the both of you. Wait, I already did that part. I must ride the rest of the way until I meet with the Druidic Circle of Dreams. I told you I had something for you, Lilat. He reaches to the ring finger on his left hand, and he passes it to you. This is my old ring of spell storing. If at any point you need to disguise yourself fastly, or you simply want a glimpse of your most ideal self, I've stored 2 castings of Alter Self inside of it. Should you use those 2 castings, you may then cast up to 5 total levels of spells inside of it to use later on. Or ask another spellcaster to store more spells inside of it. The next time you catch yourself at rest, put it on and think of your old pal Harvins, and it should attune to your spirit. Harvins places it into your palm and then closes your hand, looks you in the face, and he shows you a wistful smile. And here are the statistics for this. This is a magic item.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your support, and I wish you the best of luck.
I also leave you with a massive fucking rabbit, so that is the second gift, I suppose.
How thoughtful.
I'm sorry, friend. The only thing I had for you was food and escape from the misted wastelands of Mephotia.
God, you know what? You're the most kindest person that I've met thus far. Both of you are very kind. Because they're a bunch of bitches.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta say thank you.
I full-heartedly agree with you. I hate my parents. Anyway, I hope you shouldn't need Alter Self the next time we see each other, if we do meet again.
Parents suck.
I hear
Don't
there's an
worry.
organization of fellow fauna out here somewhere that have been dabbling in biomagic techniques. If I'm not with the Court of Druids in the Circle of Dreams, you will very, very likely find me around one of the feline settlements, helping to advance their efforts. Oh, before I leave, he, sits down, he's about to start the apparatus. There is another Mephotian citizen that should recognize that ring. Do you remember our old mentor, Miss Bruisewatch?
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Yes, but, well, when I was recognized as a talented spellcaster, she gave me that ring, and that crest. She will recognize it belonged to, you can kind of see the word choke up in his throat for a second. It belonged to Harriet. I am no longer her. I do not need it anymore. But Miss Bruisewatch, she will recognize it.
Understood.
Show her my ring that I've given you, and she should show you the hospitality. Anyway,
This place would treat me right.
yes. If she's doing anything based on her surname, unfortunate surname that is, I would probably be looking for an alchemical place of sorts.
I understand.
Okay, it's at this point that the carriage jolts to a sharp start. Harvins leans over to the right side and shouts, let me see. Did I change my notes? I sure did. God damn it, Randy, stick to the script. He's like, I hope to see the two of you again someday. Stay safe. You don't know what's out here. Yet. And then he leans back into the carriage.
Good luck.
And
Thank you, Harvin, and good luck.
So much for the hospitality on this bumpy ride.
You too! And then the carriage, after probably about 10 minutes, goes over the crest of a hill. And that is the last time you see your adolescent friend Harvins. At least for the time being.
Yeah,
A nice
and
guy.
then I just quietly whisper to myself, "So long, old friend."
What a nice guy. He seems nice. At least better than whoever the hell I met. One old hag.
That guy.
It's also fortunate that you guys had that extended goodbye, because at this point, all the caravans are kind of like single file to the right, and in Sylvan you can read the signs. There are like merchants only, citizens and tourists, free admission, so you can just waltz on in. You can just freely find this place.
Oh, nice.
It also just so happens that Celia, Galler, and Tia, your group, happens to be staying at Elwyn's alchemical shop.
Oh.
So in the next scene here, you guys all kind of come in, and Elwyn like very nearly drops a potion bottle she was working on. Like, ah! Oh, you're back. Well, how was everything? I hope it was to your liking.
It was very loud up there.
Oh, yeah, don't worry, it was a blast.
I felt it. Every bit.
It reminded me when Celia cast one of Fancy Loud spells.
Oh, till death do us part.
Yes, though, I think this was a little bit more destructive spiritually than it was physically. That being said, I had a lot of fun. It was truly an honor to be invited to open for such a important day in this town's history. Though, truly, I'm really just excited to go explore the shops again. I haven't seen a market like this in a while. Not since I left home.
Rosie and Lilac.
Oh.
You just see, like, Tia idly, like, tug Celia's sleeve, like, he has never been shopping before. Can I come?
I want to go.
And an oversized baby.
And then it's at this point that before you get a chance to respond, you hear a very hard rapping at the door. And that one's like, oh, could one of you be a deer and get it?
Alright.
Yeah, we'll get it. She takes
We race for the door.
You know what? Roll initiative to see who gets to the door first.
Open the door. Okay.
What's the modifier?
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
Oh no.
Oh no, what did you get?
23.
Oh Jesus!
I got 6,
Oh my
so
God.
yeah.
Galler's already at the door before
So-
you even turn to go.
So Galler, in excitement, you just like, extend your wings and hop over the counters and swoop over to the door. And then you pull on the mechanism to open the door, and you press the button. And behind the door, you see two very unfamiliar faces. Rosie and Lilat, feel free to introduce yourselves. Feel free to mingle. We are all now finally one group after an hour and 10 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It is great to meet you all. My name is, and then I get shoved out of the way by Rosie.
Like, she bumps her head out of the door. God damn it! Why does everything has to be so small?
Oh, where are my manners?
Actually,
Allow me to introduce you to my associate here.
My name... Oh, hi, I'm Rosie. I'm sorry, I kind of broke the door a little bit.
oh, it's fine. It is a hardwood door wrought with iron. You did not damage it.
Alright, awesome.
Geller turns over to Celia like, don't move. They can probably smell fear.
Is Galler saying that while his ankles are like buckled and shaking?
She bends down
it's
like...
fine.
Oh.
Well, hi there. We're just guests here. Were you looking for the owner of this place? I think she's in the back.
Oh, yes, actually. We were just sort of passing through, and we. I'm trying to remember like what the context is for this part.
Oh, I got you already. It's at this point that Elwyn's in the back. She comes around. She shouts, "Well, dears, I'm sorry the store's not open yet, but oh, do you know each other?"
Not quite. These folks were just at the door, and it seems they were looking for this place. Celia looks over to the two of you. She's like, "Well, go ahead."
Thanks.
Many thanks.
Shit, sorry about that.
I got you. I'm just grabbing some notes real quick. When I was at work the other day, as you guys know, I work at a dollar store. I got a sheet of receipt paper, and every time I thought of an idea, I wrote it down while I was working. So I have like receipt paper here, and I'm looking at the character notes I have. Here we go.
Ooh.
Because I haven't described Elwyn before. She just has a name. So Elwyn is a field mouse minkin, so she's like 3'7".
Oh my god.
And she has like very big rose tinted glasses. And she has cream colored fur, and her hair and her fur color are one and the same. So instead of like a hair part, like she's got like one of the classic like Disney furry like tufts of hair. Like it's all the same color. So you can see the separation of the hair, but And she is very chipper. She's very sisterly. She's also very clumsy. In the times that you have been sleeping there have been numerous moments in which you've heard a vial fall from the ground, and then a small and it wakes you up. And also, yes, I'm going to make that sound a lot. It has sadly become ingrained in my DNA.
Just
it's part of the D&D
mouth. Just go, "Whoa!" It's so fucking hilarious.
Honestly, it's
Build
pretty
character.
similar to what I do, so I don't mind at all.
It's at this point that Elwyn approaches you, and she's like, "Good day, my name is Elwyn Bruisewatch. Is there anything I can do for you?"
Well, I guess we were told to meet up with you. By
Yes, we...
a
Oh,
mutual.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yes, a mutual acquaintance of us told us to come here for a specific purpose. Would you happen to be... forgot their name again.
Owen.
It's in
Oh,
the
yeah. Okay. Would you happen to be Elwyn?
I am. Who might you be?
My name's Lila, and this here's my associate, Razi.
Glad to meet you.
It's at this point that she like glances up at Razi for a second, but she becomes kind of fixated on your face for a second. She's like, "Weird. You seem vaguely familiar."
Oh, I'm kind of surprised, honestly.
Have we met before?
Not that I know of.
It's at this point that she raises her hand to shake yours.
And then I reach
Oh.
my hand out to shake hers.
Is that the hand that you're wearing the ring on?
Yes.
It's at the moment that she takes your hand, and at the last moment on the disengage, she looks down to see the crest on the ring. She's like, "Wait. Is that the ring of Harriet?"
Yes, actually. She was a, old acquaintance of mine.
She was? Oh no. Well, if Harriet had sent you here with... Man, I'm just dead naming my fucking character. I feel so bad. It's not intended, I swear! I'm an ally!
Yeah.
I did not... I did not plan the retroactive part of this very well. I'm very sorry. Thankfully, I'm dead naming my own character who is fiction and not a real person. So, I feel bad, but... It's at this point that Elwyn's like, "Well, you are trusted here in my home. You and your acquaintance, feel free to take up shelter here because I reckon that all of the inns and such are going to be packed to the gills very, very, very soon."
They likely already are.
Yes, you felt, you heard the speech earlier, I take it.
Oh, yeah. I felt like I was at a school graduation or some shit like that. It was pretty good, though.
How
And then
could I not?
Elwyn looks you up and down, and then she, like, puts her palm up to Galler and says, That one doesn't look like the scholarly type.
Just as she says that, Tia leans over to Celia and is like, Celia, what is school?
You know what, Tia? I'll tell you some other time.
Oh,
Aww.
Oh man.
yeah,
Aww.
school.
Well, anyway, since we're all here, I feel we could get a little more acquainted over an early breakfast.
Wait, can I retcon what I said?
Go ahead.
Celia's gonna respond to Tia's question. She's gonna say it's a social club for a bunch of rich jerks.
Yeah, understand. She like nods in sympathy, like, yep, I got that, man.
It's at this point that Elwin's like, well, allow me to prepare a bit of oatmeal for the lot of us, and we can get better acquainted. By then, I feel like the outside will be a little less volatile, and I will have things ready for sale. So,
Sounds great.
So, seat yourselves. At this point, I'm just going to do a fade to black here, and we're going to take our first break.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So y'all,
Woo!
and
dog.
go ahead now. There we go. All right, and I'm going to start my timer again. Yes. Oh, it's 7 p.m. Yes. Okay. Wish we started sooner, but oh well. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So the lot of you kind of sit in somewhat stunned silence as you sit and stare at each other while eating your oatmeal breakfast with some eggs. And it's at this point that Elwyn is sitting kind of at the head of the table, and then she leans over to Rue and she's like, "Someone should say something." And then Rue straight up says, "Rue thinks someone should say something." And then you can kind of see Elwyn kind of just like glare at her like, "You stole my credit."
Well, I guess if we're gonna make small talk here, where are you all from? I kind of met up with our group here, just kind of on our way, but you seem to have traveled decent ways to get to Stone's Throw, at least.
Oh yeah, I was just... What was it? A bunch of assholes threw me in fucking jail when I was just minding my own goddamn business, so, you know.
Yeah, know the feeling. I think. I don't remember.
I broke, like, a few, stands or something like that. They got mad at me. They freaked
know
me
that
out, dude. They were,
feeling.
like, throwing rocks at me.
That one too. She just like keeps responding every time she's like, yeah, that happens, huh?
Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then Rue nods her head. Rue know rock very well.
Like Alex just like he's like slurping up oatmeal and he just turns over like, I've seen it.
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry to hear that people were so rude to you. Hopefully your journey here was at least a little bit more pleasant.
You know what? Yeah. The what is it? The fellow we traveled with was pretty nice hospitality, despite being turned into a small 3-inch bunny. Some shit like
Yeah,
that.
doesn't know anything about that.
Fell for some magic or some shit like that. Despite
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
put into a cramped space, at least I was provided with food and my bamboo stick.
Tia, you never been turned into a small animal? I guess you really haven't been around much magic users.
No. Too poor for magic.
Too poor.
Oh my
Tia
god.
don't need magic when she fight good, right?
You fight good? Her eyes like get all shiny as she looks at Celia.
Celia
Okay.
nods, Tia fight good.
And then Rue like,
Okay, I'm gonna break character for a second. Just do. Sorry, Tia. I can't give credit. Come back when you're little. Richer.
Sure.
you have no idea how often I have wanted. You have no idea how often I wanted to reference Marshu, but not yet.
God.
Just the
David,
opportunity presented itself. I had to take it.
Yeah. Oh,
I really want that emote.
It's really
what
good.
else to do?
I might have the gift saved if you want to use it for your own. Yeah, I do have the gift saved.
Yes,
Here's the
yes.
small enough that Discord will accept
Oh
it.
my god.
All right, everybody, order. Focus,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
This is coming out of your game time. Remember.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess just following up on that, like, I just like he's just like goes just like a little like lost in thought. Like, you know, it's weird. I I never had that sort of thing myself, but I do know a guy. Kind of does it all the time. It's sort of a hobby. It's kind of a problem.
It's weird to hear someone say they do magic as a hobby. It takes a lot of work. Life of dedication.
Tia once saw someone who magic just came to them. They were very stuck up about it.
Oh, I've
Nobody
seen magic.
liked them.
Oh, I've seen magic, and it turned me into a small. It turned me into a small rabbit. So.
And Elwyn's nodding her head like, yes, you said that before.
That reminds me.
Celia, have you turned someone into small rabbit?
Wait, what?
What's up?
Have you ever turned someone into small rabbit, Celia?
No, I'm not good enough at magic yet to know how to do that. I can try.
Well,
There's a first for everything.
That reminds me,
Yeah.
Rozzy. Apologies again for having to do that to you earlier. Admittedly, I wasn't given much of a choice in this situation.
Nah, I think you're pretty good. That lady, on the other hand. Fuck, dude.
Also, context, that lady is your mom, Lilet.
Yeah, she can be a handful, to say the least.
God, she called me a creature as well. What the hell?
La
What kind of
criatura.
greeting you get for being? What kind of greeting is that for entering a town?
She certainly has a way for really what is it? She really has a way for for judging people on first impressions, but I felt like that was a bit of an overreaction on her part. From what I
Surely
can
you're
tell.
very nice. Oh, sorry.
But from what I can tell, you seem to be a very welcoming face around here.
Not to everybody. Surely you're very nice, girl.
where
Rozzy
did these
pets.
eggs come from?
Rozzy Pets. What's her name again?
Lila.
Rozzy Pets Lila with her big monster of a fist,
Big
but
meaty
gently.
claws.
Big meaty paws. Giving her a gentle pet.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah.
Lila's. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say Lila's hair is like slightly messed up, but it hides the fact that she's a little bit flustered by the by the action.
Aw.
It's at this time that Elwyn starts to kind of clean up the plates and everything. Someone's getting feedback on something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My headphones unplugged.
Yeah, but it's at this point that Elwyn begins to clean up the dishes for each of you, and she's like, "Well, if a lot of you wait out front, I might give you the first access to my stock before I officially open shop. And given that I am handling the potions and healing establishment, you may want to be first come, first served." So, Celia, Galler, and Tia, in no particular order, as you stand up, you guys haven't really described yourselves to the new players yet, have you?
Oh yeah.
Nope.
That's what I was kind of gunning for.
Hey.
Well, that's what happens when you have a TV dinner with the family. Yes, that's how the character. I just want to make sure before he.
Oh, it's
before
okay,
Gala
it's
accidentally
fine.
says TV.
I got you.
Whatever is TV? Rude not to understand.
First eBay, now this.
Do you say we just want to do it in order?
Whichever order you feel like.
I
You want
guess.
to race again?
I guess I'll go first. So,
I'll go
as she
second.
stands up, Celia is, I believe she's the shortest of the group. Galler's like 5'10". Yeah. She's the shortest of the group. She's pretty well dressed compared to a lot of the other people in here. She keeps her clothes very clean. They seem to be pretty high quality. She often has her loot strapped to her back. She is a medium-sized ferret. Pretty natural markings, so her fur is starting to get kind of long just from her being out and about for kind of a while now. She's kind of foregone some of her old grooming habits from her previous life, so she's gotten a little bit more rough around the edges. But her defining feature is that she has an incredibly long tail for a ferret. If you remember the opening ceremony, her surname is Tangletail. You can kind of see where it comes from. She might even have like a little bit of detritus, like a stick with some leaves in it sticking out of it at the moment. It tends to track things, and she gets very upset about it.
Becomes one with nature by literally tracking it inside the house.
Yes.
Oh.
Are you done?
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut you off. I wanted to go next.
Go
This is
for it.
very fitting for the characters. Right up next, as you see her walk up to Celia, is a nearly 8-foot dragonborn, and by nearly 8 foot, I mean literally 1 inch away.
1 inchy.
1 inchy away. She stands very tall, even above Rosie, surprisingly, which is very strange, but it seems that her stature is very long and her stance is wide, and her hips and thighs are very muscled, and she has a dump truck ass of sorts. She has 6 horns protruding from the side of her face and 1 adorning her snoot, and very glaring, like big, bright, yellowish green eyes with slitted pupils. She wears by contrast of Celia, very tattered, seemingly tribalistic tunic. She's a top and a very high-waisted skirt, I suppose, as well as dark stockings, all seemingly tattered by time and fighting. And by contrast, weirdly enough, she seems to have some alloyed hoops on her, like rings and armbands on her biceps. Clearly not gold, because she's too poor for that, as she has told you before. As well as bandages adorning her thick arms. Not as thick as Rue's or even Rosie's, but notably thick. Her most defining feature has to be her wild mane or crest of bright green yellow feathers that are striped with a darker green. And she stands tall as she carries her new sharpened glaive alongside of her. A pair of equally as long pole arms strapped to her back. It seems she is the brawn of this party, at least compared to Celia and Gowler. Strangely enough, she doesn't wear armor, but as she moves, you can see her scales glisten strongly with a copper sheen as she passes. It seems she is very rugged by herself and has no need for it.
Gowler.
Gowler?
Gowler.
That's my line.
Yeah.
Walking next up, just about to the weight of her, like eye level to her waist, is another dragonborn, but relatively smaller in comparison. About 6 feet, compared to Tia's much more long and lanky stature. He's much more pear-shaped and robust, with his feet almost looking sort of like that with an elephant, with just generally chunky proportions all around, with his between clunky arms and well, I cough. Sorry, I didn't expect a drawback. He, for the most part, he seems to be tattered in certain patches of leather armor, just covering whatever part that isn't. Gosh, I didn't expect to have this much trouble. I'm so sorry.
The rust
You're
is
all good.
the rust
On
is
his-
coming off.
Yeah, on his head, shoulders, knees, and yes, toes, he has these small patches of um what small one could even call them like shells of layers of bronze ribbed across, almost like a small suit of armor, and a lot of the part that isn't uh, that metallic sheen, as well as the almost flail shaped highlight on his tail. He has certain patches of leather just sewn together with ropes and other such attire to look like a complete uh, like a complete outfit. Though it seems that a lot of these patches are very randomly slapped on as if a normal glove wouldn't or boot or etc. wouldn't accommodate his very clunky proportions. And his most defining feature though is that unlike Tia, he also has a set of wings that ab- about the size of about the size of his torso uh, have a small horn protrusion at the top of him to match four of the horns on his head. His colors are mixed between very pale pastel uh, almost like a sandy yellow, as the matte of his regular skin, meshed with his bronze armor, his leather pads, which are very subtly, just barely distinguishably dyed a slight indigo color, with a much more brighter saturated purple along a scarf that he wears along his neck, at the end of which is a small but intricate purple embroidery, some sort of like a tribal symbol of sorts, almost like a lightning shape. And I'm running out of details.
if if guys in future, I'm not gonna criticize your role playing or anything. In future, less is more. 3 sentences.
Yes.
Less is more.
Small,
The more details you
smaller
give,
pudgy
the
dragon
harder it
carrying
is for them to paint a mental image. That's a nice thing
Oh
to at
my
least. It's
Oh
okay.
my god! Like it took me so long. I'm so sorry, but just like small pudgy dragon with leather armor, bronze highlights, carrying a bow and arrow and a quiver and a sword.
It's at this time that Rue stands up and she approaches you, and Razi, she is taller than you and her arms are thicker than yours. As she changes her weight, you can see that the front part of her left massive anchor arm has been cut to a stump, and she's wearing a brown and top like feather cloak. Otherwise, she's wearing like very like common women's clothes, kind of a tank top and the fantasy version of like jeans, I guess. She
Like
does
hempen pants.
yeah, kind of like capri pants, kind of cut, and then she has a brownish blonde hair and she has a sour look on her face all the time.
Uh-huh.
She's not glaring at you specifically. That's just the way she looks, and she speaks up. Ruthie is
Resting
name.
binge face.
Ruthie is name. Ruthie here. Ruthie home where Ruthie had rest. And then through the back of the room, you hear a sound of a constant fluttering, a sound, as a small 3'2" creature emerges from the stairwell in the back. And what she is a small pixie-like creature. As a lot of you know, she is a sylph. But to you, she appears to be a fairy with a light pastel green skin, and she has a darker green coif. She has her eyes are almond shaped and like the normal shape of a person's, except the slits are black, the pupils are white, and she wears a very minimalistic outfit. Oh no! And she wears a very minimalistic outfit with a lot of, I don't know how to describe it. She's got these markings that have these little gems on the sides. It's like she got like a bedazzler gun and bedazzled parts of her skin.
Oh my god.
And then
Actually-
you can tell like she's kind of quivering from anxiety as she beats her gossamer wings to stay aloft. And then Rue looks over and is like, "This Rue friend." and she holds up her arm, and then Anna flies up to rest on the nub of her left forearm. Anna is Ru, fairy friend. Say hello. And then Anna's like, hello. Oh god, there's
Morning,
another one.
Asana. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. The loud noises made me fly beneath the bed.
Out of character, did I just bore Mel to death?
Excuse me?
No,
No.
it's just having connection issues.
Yeah, Mel's having connection issues. Sadly, I must go on. But, it's at this point that a lot of people are pretty well acquainted. And I will... Oh, there she is. Hello, Mallow, can you hear us? Hello? Hello?
Mel.
There you are. Hello.
There you
There you are.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's at this point that, Elwyn comes around the front and she opens the shutter to the front. And she says, hello, everyone. Don't say this too loudly here, but I'm going to give you the first preview to my wares here. As you know, the lot of us here in Stone's Throw are entrepreneurs, and I have something very interesting to show you. And what she does is she whips up a leather strap of different sizes. Let me just go ahead and paste what I have here. This is a brew bandolier. It essentially is it's a belt for potions specifically, and as long as potions are on it, they cannot be broken, they cannot be stolen, they cannot be affected. If you get potions and put them in your bag and you fall prone, there's a chance they will break.
Uh-oh.
So it is encouraged that if you don't want your potions to break, or you have it, there is another item at this point, and as Elwyn is kind of sleeving this up, Celia, she catches the Vitus flask that is sitting on your hip, and she's like, "Oh, dear, what is that flask at your hip? That's the most queer potion I've ever seen."
Oh, I don't quite know how it works myself. We ran into a band of goblins back towards the start of our journey, really, that seemed to be carrying these around. It's not the strongest healing potion I've encountered, but it's fairly consistent. It seems to have some sort of enchantment on it that refills it at dawn. I haven't really used it very often lately, I must admit, but I really don't see them around anywhere else.
Gallo sinks his head into his hands and then just like lowers his wings down. Like, did you have to bring up the goblins?
You know, the goblins are a crafty sort, but they could never make something like this. I've heard tale of research that there was an older civilization in Clemmacia before all this happened, and they would make wondrous etheric things like this. This would be tough competition if there are more things out there. Tell you what, Miss Celia, I will crack you a deal right now. If you give me that Vitus flask, I will pay you 900 gold pieces.
Celia squints at her, is like, I will say, I am a bit attached to it, though you have been nothing but kind to us, giving us hospitality here, which I am forever eternally thankful. Let's say, if you'd be so kind, let's say 850 gold, but also you throw in one of those bandoliers you have there. I have been eyeing it.
Oh, well... And she thinks about it for a second. Give me a persuasion check.
Absolutely. Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Are you going to give me my bonus for this? Or should I ignore it for now?
What bonus?
For Silver Tongue.
Oh, I fucking forgot about that shit. Yeah, add it.
Right.
God damn it, I forgot about it.
Oh, thank God that I do, because that's a 3, so that is going to be 19.
I was looking for a 10, so that's good enough.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, very well. Here you are. So on your sheet, just go ahead and copy and paste that whole brew bandolier there.
Yep.
And add, what was it, 850?
850, yeah.
There you go. Tia, when you get around to it, Or Celia, if you want to hold on to it to then buy stuff for yourself, because it's up to you guys. How do you want to hash that out?
I would like to hold on to it for now. I'll give it to Celia, or I'll give it to Tia later after the shopping stuff is done.
Okay, Tia, do not add it right now, please.
Yeah. Actually, Celia's gonna ask Tia for her 13 gold that she initially contributed to the pot.
Oh.
13 gold, please.
Okay.
If I may.
He is confused about such a specific number, but hands it to her.
It's just
Alright.
it's the number I have written down on mine.
It takes Tia a little bit of time, but by moving the rings on her fingers around like an abacus, she figures it out.
Yeah, it's just that's just the number I had written down on my character sheet because I didn't really write down what the pot number was.
I'm so glad I have this fucking shop thing so I can get a reference for the prices I should be using. Okay. And it's at this time, let's see here. Yay, dice. Yay, dice. Finally!
It begins.
It begins. Alright. So, I've gone ahead and stocked what we have here. Elwyn, speaks up to you and says, well, I have as many of these bandoliers as we need, but fortunately I am working on more potions in the back. They are first come, first serve. I have updated the potion quantities.
Hey, what about the rest of us with Vitus flasks?
If you would like, I may not be the only one interested in an artifact like that. I'm definitely going to have to converse with my superiors back in Myphotia about this. This is an interesting little trinket you have. Tell you what, feel free to go around the square. I will keep 1, 2, 3, 4 more bandoliers down here just in case. And I will be working on more potions. I assure you there will be more back here when you come back. Tell you the truth, these are the stale ones I haven't been able to sell in the off-season. You don't want them. Anyway, please enjoy yourselves. I will be here. Okay, everyone. So, as you're looking around the town square, you can... I guess a couple things you can do. If there's something specific you're looking for, or a certain shop you're looking for, you can call it out. Or I can assist you by telling you generally what new buildings have sprouted since the last time you've been here. There aren't very many, and a lot of buildings are just so incredibly swarmed with Fonican and Fey folk that there is no way in hell you're going to wait 2 hours in line just to go in.
Yeah.
What does the chef recommend, sir? What's going on around here? What are some of the new shops going on?
So, you notice that, man, I wish I had the old map of Stone Store up right now, but I'm gonna fucking improvise. I'm the Dungeon Master, and I can fucking do that.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. So, there has been a new building that is shaped somewhat like a small chapel, with lots of bead curtains and, ornaments around it. And, on the sign, you can definitely see, written in a nice cursive ink, it is called, Grachellan Goods by Mother Mauve. And it is probably the largest shop, and there's another sub-sign that pretty much says, like, General Goods Store plus more. Another store you can see, let me call up my notes, is, there is, over by the Fishing Guild, there are several stands, and there is a figure you recognize from a distance wearing a beret hat and an eye patch. And he seems to be peddling off just like fish skewers and the like. Over by the mines, do you remember the Kobold brothers? One who was a blacksmith and the other who was like transformed into a kobold but acts like a dog? Their shop is functioning and they're running a mines operation, and they're also currently offering basic blacksmithery. And there are several dark corners in the streets as well. With the shifting kind of kaleidoscope that the crystals give off, you can watch the corners and be sure that the alleyways are safe. The crowds are a little sparse around the Grachellan Goods general store, however, and it is by far the building that rivals the size of the guard post, or house that Seru herself lives in. It is made of a fine, like, mahogany wood, and it's actually painted, while others' buildings are literally just carved from stone or just basic logs stacked up from the terrible, like, slimy logs you've dealt with before. Thankfully, you have not seen a single one of those awful beings since. And for good reason.
Quick question before I go into what I want to do.
Yes.
I have here written that I had 7 fresh fish. Can I just say in the time that it's been, can I have these salted?
Yes.
Just so they're preserved.
Yes. Actually, hold on a second. What tools do you have on your person?
I actually don't think I have tools.
Because I was like, wait a minute, if you don't have Culinarian's tools...
I do not.
I was about to say, should I say the same thing about the cooked fish that I have in the bedroll, or should I just...
Here's what I'm going to do.
World's
Here's what I'm going to do. It has been 5... I don't remember exactly how many days. It's been 4 to 6 days. How about the both of you just roll me a d20 with no modifiers and tell me what you get?
Sure. 14.
9.
Gowler, all of your fish have been falling apart at the bone, and ants have built up in your backpack pockets. Celia,
Ew.
you have, the fish you have are still pretty good, but you've had to actually use the paring knife you've had to kind of carve away bits of rot on the scales.
Yeah.
They are beginning to go sour, but they are not quite there yet.
Yeah, I didn't want to just say, like, retcon, sell them in the downtime. That didn't feel
To
good.
be fair, it was my fault for not running downtime, and I will address that in the future. Thank you for
This
your
is the
feedback.
thanks I get for being a good Samaritan.
Alright, I'm gonna
Actually,
change it to 7
if you
not
want,
quite fresh fish.
if you guys want to, you could straight up just like remove them from your inventory and assume that you ate them.
Oh yeah, sure.
That works
But I'm
too.
good
I think
with-
that's
I'm
a
good with
that's a happier ending. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Because I bet she would have either eaten them or given to someone who needed them.
Yes.
You just like hold on to the bag like these fish are my only friends.
Because it's like there's a point where like you have a literal restaurant run by Jarek who is like Mr. Garlic and Potato Man. Like his entire menu is garlic and potato based.
Donalds.
Potato Donalds. I'm gonna
my
write that
God.
down. I'm gonna write that down as an official note. Don't remember that because I will. Thank you.
Mr. Randy,
Yes.
can you type down those noteworthy shop names you named earlier?
Oh shit. Yes, please.
Oh yeah.
Not good with me.
Yeah, but does anyone
Why
have?
don't- You can go. I'll save it.
No, I was just gonna say, does like anybody have like a specific thing that they were looking for? Because like I don't want to be like stealing the show the entire time. I have like a very specific thing I want to do and have in mind, but I don't want to
I was
be
just
like
waiting
first
for-
up.
I was waiting for the
I
names.
probably just want to like say hi to the Kobold twins, not much else.
Yeah.
For me, I'm waiting. I'm actually gonna say it if I can find like a jeweler's tools. But I'm waiting for the shop names that have been recommended.
That would
Okay,
probably be
the
the
DM
general.
chef.
That will probably be the general shop.
Yeah. I was just waiting to see like which one would take priority, so I'm gonna wait until you're finished typing to decide which one I'll seek out first.
There we go.
No goods. Distant stall with a familiar face. That's purposely vague.
Purposely.
I'm gonna go with the distant
Yeah.
stall with a familiar face.
Is that where
That's-
y'all want to go?
That's where Tia
I
wants
did
to
have-
go.
I did have one thing I wanted to do on my own related to the funny book.
Oh,
True.
you know what? Hey
Nego-
Celia, how about you hold that off until you go to the general store?
Okay.
I promise there will be good things for you all there.
See?
Log. Yeah, Tia wants to go distant stall with familiar face because Tia has one brain cell.
If you guys
Her
want,
object permanent.
if you guys want, we could resolve it in order because honestly, I think you'll find out why the distant stall is just kind of there. So you guys want to just resolve this in order? Do you want Tia to go ahead and go over to the stall, and then we'll kind of
sure.
splinter off? Okay.
Sure.
And Lilat and Rozzy, if you guys want to stay with the primary group of the conglomerate, except for those who want to separate, like Tia and Celia specifically, you may.
Alright. right.
So Tia, as you approach the stall, you see a gentleman just grilling fish casually, and then it strikes you in front of him. There is a plate with bagels, cream cheese, and salmon slices on it.
Oh my god.
It's the man
As
who
you
ate
look,
sugar cube cereals.
yeah, as you look up, you see the face of Raimi, the feline faunican with the beret and the eye patch over, and he has like a small he has a small boat that has somehow traveled upstream to get to this point. You can see what seems to be a contraption on the back of it that is powered by earth crystals. You don't know much about this, but it is a wonder to you. It's like, huh. Tia not know much about vehicle or water. Impressive.
Ellie Puppy used to drive vehicle, then it broke. We burn.
And then the light of recognition lights up in Raimi's eyes. He's like, oh! It's good to see you again. I told you. Merchant season is where old Raimi comes up to sell his goods. If it smells, it sails, I say.
Oh.
Yep, I knew you would get it.
It is good to see you, Raimi. It has been a while.
It has been a while. You look a lot less green than last time I saw you.
Green? She checks her feathers to see if they've gotten more yellow or something.
You look a little less new than you did before.
Oh,
Say,
I understand that.
did you ever find that green woman you were looking for?
Oh yes, it wasn't goblins though. They smell.
Goblins are small too, but yes, they do smell. I agree.
He's been very nice to us. He take us on very good journey. Although journey took halberd, but it's okay. You have new reliable, and she knocks her glaive onto the ground. That's as tall as she is.
Donk! It was like, I seem to notice you have an extra polearm on your hands. Old Raimi would be willing to give you some money for that. And he's looking at the Zanshinyari you have.
Oh yes, and she takes it off her back. It's very heavy, but there's no deal for Tia. He has many experience with heavy.
Listen, as an old seafaring man, the old trade before we used nets and poles and the such from the region of Oyura, we used to harpoon fish things. It was taught to us in the distant past, and having a nice polearm as a decorative thing would warm my old heart. Tell you what, I like you, and people seem to really recognize you around these parts. I could offer you probably 400 gold chips for it.
Oh, Tia thinks about it. It doesn't math that much, but 400 sounds like a big number. All right, DM, can I ask something out of character?
Yeah, sure, good.
Okay, so what I want to do is get some advice, but I know this sounds like metagaming, but I'm gonna try and give a reason for it.
Go ahead.
I want to ask in character. I'm gonna flavor this as Tia thinking back to things Celia has taught her about monies and stuff and how to haggle, and see if this would be acceptable considering the origin of this literally magical weapon. Specifically Celia, by the way, because
something you can do is if you're not sure what can happen is if you bring Celia back, you can still use your stats to haggle, but Celia will grant you advantage on the roll. And if she wants to use Bardic Inspiration, she can also enhance that roll. Because that is a way she can directly help you is by using her class features, but the most that she can give you is probably advantage on the roll. Based on how the social situation system works. AKA, charisma does not make the game your bitch anymore. Because
Yeah.
No.
That I'm
what-
not saying this because I just want to clarify too. I'm not saying this because
Yeah.
because technically speaking, Tia has 0 charisma. She'll never get those. It's just that in character, I feel like that is what Tia would do because
Yeah,
concept of money and trading for
you
money is new
you
to
may
her.
be surprised by the result. I had something in mind already.
Ooh.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, sure.
Tia thinks about it and she holds a finger up. Do you mind if Tia gets second opinion? She is new to concept of money. She knows someone who not new to concept of money. Like turns around and tries to wave Celia down.
Something as well that you've noticed as you're walking around. All the infantry women, yes, they're all women. All the guards people of this town, they're all also proficient in using like spears and pikes and the like. This region is no stranger to polearms.
Alarms. They're Tia's favorite weapon.
Mine too.
Not. Yeah, Tia wants to wave
Ow.
Celia down.
Yeah, I will, if I may, I will take notice and go over to her.
Come along.
Yeah.
In Celia, at this point, like, the flash of recognition blinks in your eyes. Because
Yeah,
this
it's
is
like, oh,
this is Raimi. He's the one that saw the lot of you meet for the first. Well, for the most of you meet for the first time.
yeah. She cocks her head to the side. He's like, Tia, isn't that the innkeep we saw before? First met?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You selfish.
How did he get all the way up here?
She looks over at the upstream boats.
Well, Miss Celia, was it? You see, I have a special tugboat over there. It has an engine that operates on earth crystals, and it can locomate. It can locomate? Locomote? Mocha Loca.
Locomote.
It's Locomote.
It's locomote. Okay, it can locomote itself beyond the boundaries of the stream.
Really? It must have been quite a journey. I hope it wasn't too hard on you. But,
Nah.
Tia, what is it that you needed me for?
And me want a Tia polearm, and she like holds up the pike she got from a weird library house.
He's
It was
like,
old and snivy.
well, Raimi, if you don't
Even-
mind me asking, why do you want this polearm?
It's
You seem to
because
be
he
more of the,
needs.
You're gonna fish with this? I was gonna say you seem like more of the mercantile type.
Well, no, I just want it for decoration, and I can see how old it is.
I suppose. Celia's gonna take Tia to the side. Tia, you might have. How much is he offering you for this?
He said the 400 gold cheapie.
I did not say platinum. I said gold chips.
I mean, that's not bad. Could probably stand to do more, but I'm afraid he may not even have that much on him. Well, might find the more warrior types around here might appreciate this weapon a little bit more. But that is up to you. And after all, he is a friendly face. It's up to you, but know that you have my support.
It looks between Celia.
And I'll
and,
use that to give her my bardic inspiration, if I may.
Yeah. Also, Tia, if you want to, you can roll me an insight check real quick.
Damn, insight. I'm gonna use my green dice for this.
This is pretty much a memory check, because I'm going to remind you of an event that happened many months ago that I just remembered.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Yeah, memory. And that's so insight, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm proficient in that. So that's 16.
Okay. I was kind of looking for a 12-ish, so that's more than good. You seem to remember Saru
Yeah.
telling you that this Yari in particular was part of her old collection. She mentions her collection a lot. I'm sure she would I'm sure she would be appreciative if that collection was completed.
Oh. Tia looks from the Yari to Remy, and she like steps up to him again. Tia must apologize, but and she looks down at the Yari. This Yari belongs to someone for a specific purpose. And Tia knows how important it is. And she like holds it up in the air as she looks at it. Something belong.
Well,
She's very sorry.
don't let me intrude. And while you're over here. And what he does is he hands over a couple of skewered fish that he just freshly cooked. Besides, that's all I had for the day anyway. I'd be going home empty-handed. In terms of currency.
Thank you.
By the way, Remy, you mentioned polearm fishing. I remember that's how my family used to fish back in Oyura.
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, Remy.
I don't know. I was just reminiscing, I suppose. You see a lot more just nets and fishing poles out there, though I was never very good with the spear myself.
Well, you know, lass, the bigger the fish, the bigger the tool. There's gonna be a point where nets won't even do you no good.
Suppose that's true. I guess I'm more used to the quantity over quality side of things. Still, it was good to see you again.
Indeed. It's good to see that a lot of you are still together, for the most part. I've only seen the two of you, but I stick around long enough, I'm sure I'll see the other three.
Oh, definitely. You all managed to make it here rather unscathed. Maybe for the better.
It's like
Will be our path cross again.
Indeed! And it's at this point that a bunch of other patrons kind of approach his stall and grab his attention, as you both can move a ways.
Yee.
Okay, and Galler, we can go ahead and resolve yours too. Is there anything in particular you want to do, or you just wanted to say hello?
I just want to say hello, catch up on some stuff. I'm assuming canonically speaking, we've still been like interacting with them on the daily.
Yeah, somewhat. From a distance, you can tell the shop, if you're not going to ask for wares or anything, because if you're not going to ask for wares, I'm just going to minimize this.
Well, I suppose one thing I could do is like volunteer to help with the job if they're dealing with like a busy hour.
If you do that, you are going to miss the general store thing, because you will be then working.
Also,
very
Randy,
well
can I
then.
ask something?
Yeah, what's up?
Instead of me adding it was 4, right? Skewered fish. Did I instead translate that to rations?
Rations? Yeah, go ahead.
How many would that be? 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I'm not tracking those anymore unless you're giving those to other things. By the way, y'all don't have to mute if you don't want to. Like your agency is welcome at all times. You're also with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
You're
guys
with
are all
us
together.
now.
Hell yeah.
I do have
All right.
a question.
Yeah, what up?
I know you said this is a new store. Have we met Sister Mauve yet?
You have not met Mauve yet. You've
Noted.
never seen her. You don't even know what species she is. This is the first time you've ever heard the word Grachella.
I see.
Damn.
So, Galler, it's at this point that you try to poke your head in and say hello to the Kobold brothers, but Alex, the dog one, is too busy being petted by patrons, and
Oh my god.
and Ralph is far too busy smithing chain after chain after chain and fixing up the infantry wares to really take
I
notice
just
of
imagine
you.
him like swimming through the crowd.
Yeah. And actually,
Have you seen my son?
when you look in the distance, you can see the mines are bustling, and from the inside, through the glows of lanterns, and probably like a lot of light spells being cast, you can tell that many and more types of crystals have been growing within the mines. It seems that this is not a coal mine or an iron mine. It has been created with the intention to gather crystals. And from what little you know, just based on your surroundings, you've seen that crystals have been used to power various things. Clusters, which are the largest size and the most dense size crystal, were used to power the traps and things back when you were first with the Tribe of the Four Ways. You remember that? And even now, like I mentioned earlier, there was a carriage that was powered by like lightning crystals, and there was a boat that is powered by crystals. So instead of electricity, the ethereal energy that is produced by these can be tapped into, and it produces energy. Crystals equals power. Power equals good.
I
Green
actually still have one
energy.
of those on me.
Understood.
Yeah.
I just like to imagine there's a flyer outside their shop like, have you seen this dog? Ah, you have.
Now you have.
Now you have. You walk around enough, you'll find that stabled somewhere. Have you seen this dog? No, you have. Alright. Anyone that hasn't had a turn to really call out anything, feel free to call out no. Well, I guess Grichella's the last thing, huh? Unless you just want to wander around.
I wanted to.
Well,
Oh,
I'm-
do you want to go somewhere, Celia?
Well, I was gonna say I'm just mainly looking for an Arcanist type, but I'm guessing this is where it's gonna be.
Yes.
General store. Well, I was gonna go before we go to the general store to Theru.
Oh, you were gonna go see the Duchess.
Yeah.
East.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
quick thing: would I be able to buy Culinarian's tools from Remy?
He doesn't sell them. He was just selling cooked fish.
Oh, okay, never mind.
He's just like, hey man, can I buy your grill and stuff? I mean, I know you're using it now, but you know.
That's my griddle.
Yeah, I guess I could probably make it at the store as well.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, the size of the Grichella's General Goods, it is massive. It is like the Clemmacian counterpart to a department store almost, except not quite Walmart level.
I was about to say, wow, Mart.
Wow, Mart.
Well,
Not quite there, at least not yet. So Tia, do you want to go see Seru? Because
If everybody,
I can alleviate that real quick, or you can wait. But if you go, you know what? Let's get you some money to spend. You want to resolve Seru real quick,
yeah,
Tia?
eh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it's at this time that Tia separates from the group, and you approach Seru's kind of abode, and you allow yourself in. And as you're walking through her shop, it seems to have not her shop, her abode. You under the stairs, and you see that she's entered, kind of expanded her display case repertoire. And she has several kinds of long swords and polearms. And you notice that several of the longsword cases do not yet have anything in them. But she has a variety of 18 polearm cases, and one of them are empty. And it seems like the head of the Yari that you hold would fit right within the indention that is on the display pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And Seru's
Yes,
there.
sir.
Seru's there, and she's kind of glancing at her collection. She doesn't even see you come in.
Tia knocks the Yari on the floor as she walks in, so she doesn't startle her.
Yeah. Startles her anywhere.
Startles her anyway.
I'm sorry, dear. I was a little enamored with my collection. Oh, wait a tick. Where did you find that?
Tia found it back at some weird library that was very musty and old and falling apart.
Ah, that was my old refuge before it was torched by the Dragonborn previous. I'm glad to see it's in one piece. Is it damaged? And you can kind of see her holding up her arms as if she's trying to resolve a hostage situation with a child involved.
Tia's like, no, but it has damaged others, as it should. Smiles a bit.
Listen, dear.
Slime.
Listen, dear. That is the last piece of my polearm collection that you have there, and I realize for all your friends' help in the last week, I have not compensated you. Give me a tick to look through my coffers here. And what she does is she just opens a drawer, and she wiggles her fingers, and then she puts her arm in, it's at first it's hand depth, and then it goes to like elbow depth, and then it goes to shoulder depth because it's like a pocket dimension but a door. And then you can see her grip something and go like, I got it. And what she does is she pulls up and she places a bag of holding.
Hey.
She places a bag of holding on the desk, and what she does is she opens it. And you can see he's like, listen, dear, I have the payment I meant to give you here, and I also have this. And what she does is she scoops up a scale, and you can see her evenly count out 650 gold chips. And then she just kind of palms them into the bag as well. And then it's at this moment that you realize that she realizes that she was too busy looking at the Yari. Do you have your Vitus flask on your hip at this time? Tia? Do you have your Vitus flask? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. It's at this time she's like, wait a minute. My dear, where do you keep finding these things? One moment, and what she does is she gets 2 more instances of 650 gold chips. So, 650 times 3. She's prepared to give you 1,900 gold pieces for the lot and a bag of holding.
Ooh. Tia will nod her head and accept it. She's willing.
Now, keep in mind, the first partition was for you and your friends to split. The second 650 was for that, and then the third 650 is you. Do you understand what that is that you have on your hip, dear?
Yeah, Celia told me is Vitus flask, and she like takes it off her hip and like raises it up. It refills every dawn.
It
I
does.
haven't found much use for it.
You know, back in the distant past, before we had to use potions and distill crystals and stuff, the extra natural elements would kind of form in the air, so to speak. Now, these days, things have condensed down so far that they form crystals, and we use that as a power source. What you have inside that flask is some of that old air from days past, and many researchers and I almost said mathematicians, and many magic practitioners would be able to advance a lot of research if they had more subject material to use there. That could provide a breakthrough for Stone's Throw and for its defenses, and probably defenses for Clemmacia as we know it. So, if you would allow me to find a client, I will happily pay you extra for it, as I have. And she pushes forward the, goddammit math, the 1950 gold chips inside the bag of holding. Which the bag of holding is also yours, by the way. If you trade these things. Yeah, let me actually type that down.
This down. Yeah. This is why I always have my like desktop calculator on standby when I play D&D.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely necessary. There we go. She's like, I assure you, it will not fall into the wrong hands. It's just, I'm surprised to see these things again. They kind of went out of style about 20 years ago.
These goblins have no style.
They have no grace. These boys cover up their face.
And as Tia hands him over, she's like, well, Tia appreciate the trade, but in all honesty, she just want to see you do better. It is very important that things belong to help others. That's all I really want to see.
Indeed.
She like does the icon has like presses her fingers together. Big ol' softy.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I admit the Yari is kind of a comfort thing. I really don't need it. But I hope that bag of holding helps you and yours. You are esteemed friends of Stone's Throw. A lot of random people coming out here would either be savages or cutthroats or the like, you know. And if you remember that part of that speech that I gave earlier, I did specifically mention that Stone's Throw takes no prisoners, right?
Yes.
We are a completely voluntary system here. We don't have a place to hold prisoners. We don't really have our own way to dole justice other than probably the old style of humiliation or on-site execution. You know?
Oh.
Like the place that we came from. Well, I don't know where you came from, Tia. But every place is different. We have the regions surrounding Clemmacia, and Clemmacia is a every woman for herself kind of thing. And I have been jaded so often by my own kind that it's hard for me to believe in second chances, you know?
Yeah, understand.
Tia,
And she like nods her head in solidarity.
Tia, I like you a lot as a friend. I hope I don't catch you putting your hands in someone else's pocket, lest I cut that hand off.
And like she's silent for a bit before she turns her head up a bit. You swear, he no look for trouble. He just looking for what everyone else is for here. To start.
And also, if you and your friends happen to turn in if you happen to turn in some ne'er-do-wells that were caught in the act, and witnesses kind of, you know, they attest to it, I would be willing to pay you further for turning them in. I would prefer them alive, but if they happen to be dead, I will pay you less for it. I would pay you, let's see. You're gonna have to remember this. Put this down on your sheet, please.
Yeah.
I will pay the lot of you 80 gold pieces for each ne'er-do-well caught alive, and I will give you 40 if they happen to be dead. We don't have a lot at the time since the season just began, but I'm sure as the first week roars on and the earnings are reported, we will bring in much and more, and we can further expand. I believe a lot in protecting the innocent, and the only thing we have right now is militaristic might. You know, that is the way that we were taught originally. I wish I could forget it. And there would be a day for that, but that day is not now. You can see her you can see her swing the case open, and she gingerly puts the Yari back into its spot. And she
as Tia sees this, she like mumbles, "It's where it belongs."
Satisfying video compilation number 127.
I mean, I meant that to be a more sentimental thing, but I mean, sure.
It's like, well, Tia, I'm sure you're very busy. Please stop by another time. I am expecting, you know, little Puko. She and her kind are in charge of entertainments, and we have counseled with another kind to bring back something called a blood sport. No doubt you've seen this square in the dirt in the center of town.
Oh yes, he's very square.
And another thing from where we came from, might makes right. And since we are in an area with many exiles, and many of those politically charged, people may be willing to place wagers. We are a budding colony. We need to take every opportunity we can, and I will ensure that in that blood sport, no one's life is taken within that square. We are not that savage. I hope. I sure hope it doesn't come to that.
Do you guys mind if I ask one more thing from Suru?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Alright, I just wanted to ask because I know I'm probably eating up some time here.
Dude, you got time. You're good.
Hell.
Alright. Tia's gonna take out the glaive Saru gave her and like point to where is the ooh, I ate that word real quick.
Draconic.
Draconic, yes, draconic insignia on it or text.
She holds
Is
it.
it on the blade?
She holds it and looks at it, and she's like, "Tia, my dear, whatever are you talking about?" As she as she hands it back to you, you kind of see it again in the blade, but she's just completely oblivious. It's almost as if only you can see it.
Ooh. Intrigue. Well, thank you again for this gift. I promise I will serve it well, and hopefully you will do the same to me in kind.
I don't know.
Knocks it on the floor again.
I don't know what it is you saw, but we have one affiliated with the arcane. We have a very nice, devout woman that runs the general shop. If you have any questions, and you have the money to cover a sizable donation, as she likes to call it, she may have some insight as to what you are asking me. I have not the foggiest of ideas of what you speak. And, you don't even need, you could roll, like, if you want to see if she was lying or not, you can. I'll give this to you for free. Seems completely legitimate. Like, no bullshitting you. Like, she's telling the truth. She actually kind of is a little spooked looking at you being like, what? Yeah, you won't.
You won't.
I wasn't planning on rolling an insight, but thanks anyway.
Yeah.
She is very, like, simple-minded. She's like, oh, well.
Very trusting.
Take your word for it.
You say red pen, you say blue pen is red, I believe.
I believe. I asked Celia first. Maybe I get suspicious if she says something, but I believe. And Tia's gonna bid a farewell as she heads to the general store.
Interestingly, as you're heading to the general store, I should also mention at this point that you haven't seen much of Sean or Ariel, but you actually pass the both of them, and you don't really address them as they enter Saru's house.
Ooh.
You might look up to like wave at them or say hello, but they respond to you at all. They're just kind of. These seemed very committed to a sense of duty. Like, have you ever had that thing where it's like, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I just want to buy my fucking groceries and go home, so you're looking at the ground the whole time?
Yeah.
That's precisely what they were doing. Both of them were kind of looking at the ground, neutral expressions on their face, their eyes were kind of darting around. That's what you kind of see.
Like, oh, must be busy. No bother.
I will actually tell you as well, their possessions seem to still be like on their beds back at Elwyn's too. Sean was not wearing his armor, and Ariel did not have her armaments on her at the time either, which is strange because they usually have their things on them at all times, like you, because you are adventurers.
Adventure.
Okay, everybody together at the general store again. So,
Helping time.
since
Time to do math.
For me to like get in there a little early first, just again because Celia wants to kind of keep this thing on the down low as much as she can.
So can I say?
Here's what I'm going to do. Does anyone else want a chance in the limelight? Because I've realized that we've been doing scene 1, scene 2, scene 3.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to kind of be the head of marching order here, we will resolve that. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Anyone want one?
Lilat, Rozzy, is there anything particular?
Because at this point, you all are gonna kind of conglomerate together again.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take a little bit at a delay.
I mean,
I don't know, honestly.
That is not a helpful answer.
I know it's not. I know it's not.
I'm sorry. I'm like, this does not help me.
So, like, they're just, was it looking around to buy some stuff?
You have not entered the Grichella's general goods just yet. Like, as you're looking at the building, it does not have, like, a swing-style door or a proper-style door at all. Well, actually it does, to close this door. It has, like, a bead and like gold and silver and platinum kind of curtain. Have you seen like the hippie style curtains where there's beads and you push them aside?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
a lot of those in the beginning of the shop. And like through every archway there are more. There are several archways in this store.
Uh-oh.
And they all have like the transparent beads and they're separated by section. Like there's the arcade, and there's the general. There's even like it's strange. There's like a spellcasting section and there is a crystal ball in one corner and there is a holy script in another. When this place said general goods, it meant it.
Ooh.
I see.
So Galler, since you have only gone to like one place, I'm gonna say that you can go ahead and conglomerate with them if you'd like.
If you say so.
Do you want
That'd
to?
be helpful.
Sure.
Do we need a break real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least I do personally.
Okay, we're gonna call a 10-minute break
Sure.
now. Okay, Galler. So you are at the lead of the marching order here, and you see that this general shop, it was like General Goods by Grachella, presented by. It was some long name you didn't really pay too much attention to. You just saw a general store and it's like, oh, let's go. You stick your monster clobber and claws out and you like push the beads aside. And like seriously, the inside of this place is adorned with fine polished woods and several counters, and it really meant it when it said this was a general store. The only thing probably missing here are armor and weapons. There is like dehydrated food here. There is DM's looking at his item catalog so he can describe this correctly. There are sorts of adventuring supplies in here. And there are also display cases of jewelry. As a matter of fact, there is an extensively sized jewelry section in the center of the store. Some seem to be on pedestals. You see a lot of like crested jewelry. It seems to have some like religious sort of like significance to it. You don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I've heard of Sandy Claus.
You are Sandy Claus. Look at your hands.
What did we call it?
Oh God, I'm Sandy Claus. But it's at this time that you notice the first other fae that you've ever seen other than Anna. There are two other pixies, and these are tiny creatures. They're like less than a foot tall, and you see them like flying up to the tops of the shelves, dusting things and rearranging things. And there are many of them. There are like 7 or 8 of them in here. And then there is a counter in front of you, and there is a small hammer, and there is a bell. And it's kind of in the style of like a church bell. Just like a handbell.
Yeah, shall we ring the bell and see what happens?
I don't know.
I don't see why not.
I'm the DM, and you're asking me a question.
Oh, right.
Are you there with him,
Yeah.
or is it just him?
It's like an adventuring game. It's like, do you walk the path? I don't know. Do I? I don't know. I need an affirmative answer.
I don't know.
It's like, you know, it's like the chowder. I'm wasting time. It's like the chowder scene. Would I?
Would you? Would I? Would you?
Rada.
Wait, would I? What?
Think of it like a Chekhov's gun thing. If it's there, it's probably there for us to use.
Correct.
Yeah, Chekhov's gun. Nice.
Are we there with Galler?
I'm
Is he by himself?
gonna say Galler, Lilat, and Razi. You're all in there together. Teela and Teela. I said it again. Celia and Tia. I'm just gonna read you guys in order so I don't mix them up. Celia and Tia, you're at this point where you're kind of just within earshot and you can kind of see through the beads. Your vision's obscured because you have to walk through 2 bead curtains. But like, if something happens, you'll be within eye shot. Give probably like more in-game seconds and you'll be together. So.
Nice. Okay. So I guess just out of impulse, just like grab the hammer and just like ring the, like, swing it like a golf club at the bell.
Even though this bell is very, very small, it rings just like a church bell. The same volume, everything. Your ears collectively ring as this is happening.
Oh my god.
And then all the pixies that have been stocking the shelves kind of slowly turn toward you as if this is a common occurrence. They don't have this look of disapproval, but they all kind of look up toward the back of the shop as if a performance is about to happen. And surely enough, as this happens, the lights dim, and then a spotlight comes on to highlight a velvet curtain in the back.
Drum roll.
No drum roll. There are 2 Porto 4 drums. I'm kidding. They have a jewelry section. They can afford drums.
Yeah, knows about that.
It's at this time that descending the staircase and sticking her leg through is you see a rabbit Fanakin, and she has like somewhat pastel purple colored fur with a white muzzle, and she has dark purple curly hair, and she is wearing sort of a religious vestment, and I don't know how to describe this, but she's wearing like a nun shawl. And her and she has her eyes open, like kind of halfway open, like very relaxed, very motherly, and she has pink colored eyes. And she has a warm smile going from side to side. From cheek to cheek. I'm said ear to ear, but she's a bunny. That'd be weird. And she does have the lop style ears, so they go down. They don't stand up. She draws the curtains aside, and she's like, "Oh, hello. Welcome to my little corner of Stone's Throw. General goods from Grishella. My name is Mother Moth."
Geller, like, abruptly just, like, hides the hammer behind his back. He's just like, hello there. So he slowly takes a breath, but puts it back and just does a gentle bow, like, brushes his scarf up a little bit, like, I hope I didn't interrupt anything, but it's a pleasure to meet you, too.
Oh, please, I was just putting up makeup back there. Please, if you would return the hammer with the bell set, I would be happy to assist you in whatever capacity. Is there anything specific that you're looking for today? Oh, you've brought friends! Hello, everyone! And she spreads her arms wide, and a shower of pink sparks emanate from her bosom, and kind of glitter the air around you. Celia, you'd recognize this as a prestidigitation spell.
If I could see it.
You can see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're probably in there now. She is kind of being a bit of a spectacle. Celia, looking at her, this is probably the second wealthy woman you've seen aside from Seru. Like, she legitimately acts like a woman of higher class.
Oh my.
Celia's kind of looking at her and is like, God, I hate that she's cute because she's one of those types.
I guess Geller would ask, like, wait, makeup? I'm sorry for assuming, but, like, are you a performer? Like, what are you doing here? In Stone's Throw.
If you don't mind, I actually happened to miss a spot. It's this point you notice she has absolutely no makeup upon her face, and she holds up her paw and uses prestidigitation upon her face, and instantaneously within like 4 seconds she is completely with like purple eyeshadow and purple lipstick and a bit of blush on both of her cheeks. That's better. I find things are a little easier to deal with when you put your face on. And at this point, you notice that she's like 4'8", so when she approaches you, she kind of is dwarfed by the glass case, and then you see her step up a few steps to kind of go up above the counter. I will go ahead at this point and go and just put a list of things here.
Oh my. Okay.
So, you look like the adventurous type. I happen to run into a few items recently that may interest a lot of you. Someone feel free to... And at this moment, her eyes kind of fall upon your waist, Galler, and she's like, "Excuse me, sir,
Yeah?
Is that a strangely misshapen bottle of alcohol, or is that an artifact that I happen to see upon your waist?"
You know, I would tell you you'll know, but quite frankly, I have no idea what this thing is.
Oh, I'm glad you
did-
didn't say it was a flask. I'm not of the faith to be drinky.
He just nods his head agreeing, like, yeah.
Don't tell the Archbishop that. He's not here. He's not going to hear. So, darling, I come from a distant region of Grachella. You might have heard it as the dynasty most devout. I don't like saying that. I don't like being a little too over the top. And she kind of like smiles at you for a moment. She kind of knows she's being facetious.
Brilliant.
You see there, inside of that bottle is a wondrous little substance that if you break it under normal circumstances, it escapes and it's gone forever, but I may happen to know someone that could use it. I would be willing to grant you a... Listen, you came in and you rang that wonderful bell. I would be willing to give you 1,100 gold piece credit to use in shop today. To trade it. No donation necessary. I don't have the... She kind of... She pulls out a drawer and she too has like the shoulder depth drawer. Never mind, I have plenty of coin. Would that be credit or coin?
Oh. He just turns around and just like holding the flask in his hand. Oh, yeah. You know, I'd have to. You see, the thing with this flask is that it did save my behind more than a couple times. If you don't mind, not to say the answer is no, but it'll definitely take me more than a while to let this thing off my hands, if you don't mind.
Oh, it'll take you more than a little while, you say. And it's at this moment that she pulls out a little bit of lipstick, even though she already has it on, and she begins to apply it to her upper lip. Celia, you recognize this as the Friends cantrip.
Oh no.
What is that?
She is trying to use magic to woo. I'm actually gonna pull that spell up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, me? Not even Gellert, me.
Or yes, it's Gowler.
oh.
No, I got you. Just...
He is completely oblivious as she like
she's
shouts over his
completely
shoulder.
oblivious to this. She's like, oh,
Oh my
come on, dear. It's now or never. Like, you've seen how many people are out there. Why don't you give little old me that little flask? It says I gain advantage on charisma checks, but instead I'm going to subject you to a persuasion check to disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
Because
Yeah,
that's...
Celia sees this happening. She just kind of just like shaking her head. She's just kind of letting it happen. It's like, oh no.
It just like shouts over her shoulder. Just take the
Violet
money.
and Rosie are so confused. It's just-
All right, that is...
Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, bards can learn this. Okay, so Celia, you totally
yeah.
know what's going on.
Yeah.
I actually had to go
I-
to the Wikidot and look it up. I'm like, what's like a low-level spell in case someone wants to interrupt this?
Oh my god, yeah,
Celia's gonna turn to Tia really quickly. She's like, Tia, see that makeup? If you see that, turn the other way and walk away.
Oh, and Tia perceives. She perceives and she remembers because Celia told her.
Yeah, Gallagher tries to keep an eye on his flask. Oh, by the way, I roll a 16. And
at
just for
di-
flavor, I wanted to say
at disadvantage?
I should probably let you know I'm already taken.
At disadvantage, you roll 2 and pick the lower one?
Yep.
Oh shit, damn,
The
dude.
other one was 18.
Oh my god, you're rolling hot today, dude. Good thing I
Seriously.
used a cantrip. I didn't want to go too hard. it's at this time that you can kind of tell her temperament changes toward you as if she's used to getting her way. She's like,
Oh my god.
okay, well, my offer for 1,100 is only going to be good now. Very well. I understand. And then she claps. I forget. She claps her hand mirror shut with a lot of force, and
Oh my God.
and she tucks it beneath her vestments.
Yeah. Celia, I'm looking at her breath. Yep, definitely one of those types.
just shouts over, "Take money! We can
Does
buy
Colin do
many
that?
potion."
Potion?
Any.
I'm afraid you have me mistaken. I have, all sorts of other things. You will probably want the, goodness, what is her name? Miss Bruce Botch. Yeah, Miss Bruce Botch's store. That's totally not her name.
Tia, like, wait, oh, Tia's just gonna, like, wait. Ooh. Can I say that upon Celia telling, Tia what the friend's cantrip and what she was doing recognizes this was the person Siru told her to see about magic?
Yes.
Ooh. Can Tia go up to Galler and, like, grab his shoulder?
I don't know, can you?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you?
I'm going to.
I don't mean it to be a sarcastic bastard, but I'm gonna tell you, like, guys, you're in control. Tell me what you want to do.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need Randy's approval to do things.
Only when combat comes up and we're both not sure, I'll probably just be like, yeah, go ahead. I'll look up the rule after the game. That's what I'm gonna do from now on, by the way.
Rosie and Lila are very confused.
So Tia,
God, I can't believe that check actually worked. I have a boyfriend.
and with the comedic timing of the universe intact, Tia, like, trudges forward like a bull in a china shop, essentially. She, like, grabs Galler's shoulder. Like, small. She's just gonna have
Small.
nicknames now.
His name is Small,
Small. Small and chunky.
like
He
pear.
knows the magic. What if we use the magic credit to find out about magic weapon? And she, like, can I say, alright, I'm gonna ask you, Galler, can she, like, grab your thunder tooth from, I guess it's strapped to your back, and, like, show it to you?
I would say it's more like on the hip, but you know what? Sure.
Well, either way, she'll just, like, grab it and show it to you, like, maybe she can tell more about this. I'm sure we're all aware these items we have are magical.
It's at this point that you see Mother Mauve kind of look up at you, and she raises her chin, looks down her nose at you. It's like, I'd be happy to identify those for you, but if you want to come back here, you're going to have to buy something. And then she narrows her eyes down at the lot of you again.
Out of character, I almost wish that when she like I'm assuming like she was like by Abe, like she was like holding onto like the scabbard. I just wanted to be like, oh, he'd still be like 11 days or something. He'd be like, oh, you can hold on my sword anytime too.
Ooh. Spicy. I mean, you're allowed to. I'm not gonna object.
And then she kind of cuts in. As a matter of fact, here, I happen to have some 2 items that were pawned off to me, very recently. I happen to have this very nice ring of feather falling. And if you happen to find yourself a little clumsy, or if you're a winged fella, keep falling down, you could use a fun little thing called feather falling, which will allow you to take absolutely no damage upon hitting the ground, as long as you can tell you're falling first. This does not work for the falling dream. I tried it a few times. Wasn't my cup of tea.
Tia just, like, bobs behind Galler, like, credit.
I'll also tell you that, like, you can't do this whenever you want. I had the terrible dream, and then I had to try it around, I don't know, 7, 10 more times before I was able to do it again. It still didn't work on the falling dream. I don't know why I keep having the falling dream. You're not my psychiatrist. I'm not paying you. But will you pay me? And then she flutters her eyelashes at you. The effect of Friends is worn off, by the way. I just wanted to do one check against you.
Yeah. He tries to make it as distinct as possible that he rolls his eyes. Like, oh. Alright, fine.
He's not interested because she wants egg.
Ew.
Just what egg. Ew.
But it's like well, the ring of feather falling is yours for say. How about we start the bidding at 575 gold pieces?
Okay, who else is near him right now besides Tia?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Huddle.
Wait, can Tia just like Tia hear this offer?
She's saying it aloud.
Yeah.
Oh well. Tia's just gonna
I'm
like
sorry, I was deep in thought about a thing that I'm planning.
Tia's just gonna like raise an eyebrow and be like, 500, but you say you don't know it work at random. Could be faulty. And can I make a persuasion check?
Against
The bardic inspiration.
against
Against what?
against who?
Um
If it's a
Mother.
if it's a player, it's at will. He can just say yes or no.
I want to do it against Mother.
Oh, against Mav.
Actually, which one of us has the higher charisma?
Galler,
only use-
Galler, you're being addressed, so it's using your stat block. Other characters can only give you bonuses or advantage.
Oh.
That's how it works, because that's the way that charisma used to make the game its bitch, is that you would just constantly use the best player. But I'm like, wait, I don't have to do that shit.
To be fair though, Tia's charisma is +0, so you wouldn't be exactly gaining anything except a bardic inspiration
know what?
die.
You get a bardic inspiration die and advantage.
Rozzy is very low on charisma.
Dear God. Well,
mean,
I guess counting the
advantage and
modifier, that's.
inspiration.
I guess counting the modifier, that's another 16 then.
Let's see. It's at this point that her eyebrows narrow toward you more than they were before. Before she was kind of just looking like a little stuck up. Now she kind of looks a little angry.
Oh,
She's
God,
like,
she's an ace attorney
she's
character.
like, excuse me, sirs and madams. This is not a normal establishment. You see, this is a sacred place, and these are donations to my cause in the distance. Would you shortchange a starving hatchling such as yourself, Mr. Dragonborn?
Tia just sort of like narrows her eyes a bit.
Give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh God, here we go.
Me?
No, Gallagher.
Oh shit.
12.
That's a fail.
Oh,
Okay.
Right.
Uh-oh.
That's a big old fail. I was actually looking for... That was close. I was looking for a 13. I was like, oh god, not too hard now.
Come on.
I was like, not too hard. Let's just go in between. So at this point, you can resolve this how you want. You start to visibly show signs of anxiety.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
It just like narrows her eyes as she like speaks in draconic. Place of a holy place wouldn't shame its patrons, would it? Draconic.
All right, at this point, Celia is going to step in between the two parties. It's like, listen, okay, this is going on long enough. You two, she turns to the Dragonborns. Maybe go step outside for a bit. Go get some fresh air.
Go play with your toys.
It's like,
It like visibly growls as she like steps out with Gowler, like
At
she like steps out.
at no.
Celia turns to address Mother Mom and is like, now, Holy Mother, if I may say, it's a little unbecoming of you to be using magic to persuade your patrons. Now, I don't disagree that the offer that you were giving them is necessarily a bad one. You two have a business to run out here. I get it. But, figure a woman of faith would be a little bit more honest. But, I have another matter at hand. Actually, ignore that last part, I'm not getting to that yet.
Her eyebrows raise in interest.
It's like, but anyways, hopefully we can calm tensions down a little bit. After all, I am, of course, interested in perusing your wares. What else do you have besides this ring of feather falling?
I have another ring. That it's not quite as good as the other one. You may know it as a ring of spell storing. It's not quite as potent, however. I was convinced that it was a regular or a greater ring of spell storing, but I haven't seen the such. You know, those rings of spell storing, they're often more given out by mages' towers and druidic circles and such, but we're merely a faith. So, it's usually our beliefs and miracles that power our spellcasting. So I had a disciple here that wanted to help our cause and donated their old ring. And it turns out this ring is quite old and it's not as potent as it used to be. It can store 3 levels worth of spell slots. So maximum level 3 spell slot. Any combination of spells that use that total. Same as a regular ring of spell storing, it just has a smaller capacity.
Yeah. And how much is the asking price for this ring, if I may ask?
How much are you offering?
Well,
listen, Miss
Celia, if you may.
Miss Celia. I presume you know a lot about cash. What do you feel is a fair offer?
I am actually willing to make a deal here. There's a few things I would like to ask. I will give you, in fact, the same price as that ring of feather falling, 500. But in return, in addition to this lesser ring of spell storing, I would simply ask: A, you forgive my friends and their belligerence, and B, I have an item. We all have a few items that need to be identified. Consider this the fronting cost from me for the rest of my group to have these magic items looked at.
Madam, you realize that I have to spend components to cast the Identify spell to do that for you, yes? This is not a charity. Actually, wait. I'm not sure what this is, but it certainly is not a charity.
Yeah, you tell her.
Like, it's at this point where she is, like, you don't need to do an insight check. You can tell, like, she is, like, being matter of fact. It's like, I'm not sure what it is. And then she throws her eyebrows up. But it is not a charity.
That's fair. But again, I am paying what is essentially more than the asking price. After all, you did just say this was an inferior ring. I'd be willing to do 600 gold. You identify our items, and I buy the ring.
I'll give you the ring for 500, and I will do 75 per Identify.
Now, hold on. But that doesn't make any sense. You just said that this ring isn't as good as the feather falling one, and you're still asking for the price. I do appreciate the discount. You know what? How about we say 450 for the ring, 75 for the identifies?
This isn't a charity. I love that line. I love that line so much. How about you roll me a persuasion check?
Got it, boss.
Celia has a plus
With
5
ability or
charisma.
not?
With.
Okay, thank God, because I rolled a 1. 19.
That is a little short. This was hard.
21.
21. I was looking for. I was legitimately looking for 21.
Figured. Because if any time a DM says if you roll like a 19 or something, it's like not good enough, I always assume they just stacked it at 21.
Because on your DM sheet, it will tell you predetermined values for difficulty, and like 20 is hard.
Yeah.
Because
So,
she.
alright, so it's like, alright, I can tell.
She's
I'm
like,
getting to you.
listen.
I will just
Li-
take the ring and get out of your hair. I will pay. I do want the ring. I will pay the 500 for the ring, and I'll just get out of your hair here.
Well, you wanted an item identified, yes? Now that you've bought something, I feel less inclined to be such a bitch toward you.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this was the whole point in the first place, is I was going to buy this thing so I could have something identified. I did catch that you said that. But I suppose what's done is done.
He's like, you know what, child? Just the 500. I'll identify a few things for you. It's fine. I've caused enough trouble.
Thank you. And if I may, if we could take care of mine first. She's going to, like, look are the others like watching? Actually, can I make a sleight of hand check to see if I can slide her an extra 100 gold? If we can just keep this particular.
You can do it with disadvantage because you announced it.
Oh my god.
Can I lean in and whisper it?
Like, is everyone watching you?
That's what
He's,
I'm
like,
asking. Like,
peeking
that's.
over
I don't know. I thought
when
we were
she used
outside.
to like
I
talking
told
to her.
Gallery and Tia to go outside, and they
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I
I
assume
see
that
that
I
Tia's-
assume that Lilat and Rozzy are either window shopping or being wallflowers.
Yeah, we're kind of like wall shopping, like looking at stuff. I'm not sure when to go.
Hey, go ahead. Just roll it normally.
All right. Let's see. Oh my god, that's good. My dice have not been great so far for this, but that's actually a good roll. That is an 18.
It's at this point that she notices the extra money coming across the counter, and she bangs the counter so it looks like they fall behind an accident. And she's like, "Whoops! Let me just get those." And then she winks at you as she bends down to get them.
All right.
Oh no.
Can I throw that ring in my inventory?
Yeah, go ahead. It has no spells on it currently. It would, man.
Yes.
You know what I was thinking of doing? I was thinking of putting a really good spell stored in it and then jacking up the price, but I'm like, nah.
That's what I think she would do for sure.
Yeah,
No, I do feel like I can get some use out of this.
And
But,
if you're interested in that ring of feather falling, well, I'll think about it. But first, there is business to do.
Yeah. And so I guess we're gonna go into like a back or something. I will produce the book from my bag.
It's at this point that when you place it, she looks at it and she's like, interesting. Did anyone else come along, or are you like really walling this off?
Oh no, I am like walling this off again. Celia is being very careful with this. That's what
In
the
the
extra
distance,
is for. This is to keep this discreet.
Yeah, it's at this
The
point
distance
you both sit next to the holy text, and then Mother Mauve claps her hands, and the curtains draw around the both of you. It's very calm from the outside. All of you are like, okay, they're not like fighting in there. It's good.
Right.
So what Mother Mauve does, she leans in, and she places you're actually a little surprised that she legitimately pulls out a holy symbol. And then she places her other hand on the book, and she's like, "Miss Celia, it was. I need you to lay your hand on the book as well."
All right. She cooperates. Or I guess I should say I cooperate.
It's at this point that Mother Mauve gently speaks. She says, "Oh, in the name of the dynasty most devout of Coachella, I beseech you, Feywilds, grant me the information that we speak about the item between us both." And you can kind of tell that this is less of a miracle thing. It feels more like a seance. A two-person seance. It's the most awkward seance you could possibly have. Don't seance on a don't seance on a first date, kids. All right. So it's at this point. Let me get up the stat block that I
instead
have.
of both girls, would it be called a gay aunts?
Gay aunts.
Don't.
Gay aunts?
I just separate those words as like gay once. Don't do it. Not even once. No, totally do it. It's
Not
2021.
even once.
It's 2021. Do it all you like.
Do it every time.
Do it every time.
Every time.
It's at this point that it kind of strikes you that, strangely, even though this book was like unidentified, Mother Mauve is like, "This is strange. I cast the spell, but I'm getting no information. Tell me, child, have you used this book in a certain fashion before?"
I've only used it once before. I'd rather not necessarily describe what happened, but it did, or it seems to possess. I am going to divulge. It seems to possess a consciousness of its own, but I have not spoken with it much, other than when I had first discovered it.
Listen, I think my powers are probably not enough to give you the full lowdown of what this is. It may be in your interest to stop upon my homeland or closer to my homeland of people of greater faith, and they may be able to discern it, but what I will tell you is, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
I appreciate the advice, and thank you again for the help.
And then,
Because-
and then as you're standing up, she's like, "So, was the cottage worth it?" Because when she identified it, she
Man.
could see what was written in it.
it's like, believe it or not, yes, you'd be surprised how awful it is sleeping out in the rain.
And then as she's about to pull the cord, it's like, when you're going further inland, you may want to ask about an archmage known as Macrozen. The name is mentioned in here several times in different script, but I don't know anything about that.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much. How do you spell that name, by the way?
Yep, typing it.
In the distance, you could just hear a tiny wow.
Yeah, we're
Because Tia's realized that Celia's not visible anymore.
Yeah, we're just gonna go overtime until this resolves. Okay.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, that's all I wanted from her. And I guess while everyone else is doing their stuff, I'd like to load up the ring with 3 charges of cure wounds.
What level? Level 1?
One.
You don't want to do like a level 2, level 1 situation?
Yeah, I'll do level 2, level 1.
There you go. Alrighty.
I feel Long Mom isn't seen.
Whomstiv is next. It's
And it was that 600 gold total? Is that what we agreed on?
yes, because it was 500 plus 100, right? And that did
Yes.
cover all the identifies, BT dubs. Yeah, so you guys don't have to pay out of pocket for it.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
As the curtains lifted, can I say just that like Tia's just sitting on the floor because she doesn't know what else to do?
Tia awkward.
See, Long Mom
Yeah.
out here. She don't
how
know
much
what
of that-
to do.
Oh, that was private. Y'all heard zilch of that.
Yeah.
Because it was a heavy curtain for privacy. Because I guess I'll tell you that in lore later. I want to show, not tell.
Okay.
Still on me.
And
Where she gone?
as the curtains draw, Celia, she's like, water under the bridge. So you can kind of tell that her demeanor has changed back to one that's more neutral and openly friendly toward you, Galler, as she looks toward your direction.
And Celia kind of bows to the rest of the party. I leave the rest to you.
Right. Out of character, Mo, would you like Tia to go first on this, or shall I?
You can go first. Tia's had a bunch of limelight, so I'm gonna pass that to you.
Alrighty then.
Actually,
Yours
not
first.
Galler has 2 magic items, doesn't he?
Huh? Does he?
Oh, right, the wild card.
Ammunition and
He's got the quiver and the sword. So
Well,
what do you like,
the
get
quiver
one?
the quiver is not unidentified. You clearly know what it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it
Isn't it the
identify.
ammunition though.
Huh? I mean,
It's
like
plus 1 ammunition.
it's
just
only
everything.
unidentified if it says unidentified on it. Like usually some items you can clearly tell what they do. Like plus 1 ammunition does what it's on the tin unless it's unidentified.
Sharp.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the one I gave him was meant just to not be melted by acid and come with some plus 1 ammunition. So that was the
Yeah,
intention.
thank you.
Yeah. That was a shitty way to handle giving you new weapons, by the way. I apologize. I'm not gonna do like weapon destruction anymore. If I do it, it's gonna be
Don't
temporary
worry
and
about
fixable.
Yes, seat.
So, Galler, you have an interesting choice. You can go ahead and use up both of the free charges for weapons, or you can choose one. I will let you guys hash that out. I will happily resolve anything you want.
Free charges for weapons. Sorry, my brain is fried. Reword that, please.
Okay, Celia bought 3 charges. 1 has been used. There are 2 left. You have 2 magic items. Tia has 1 magic item.
Oh, in that case, I'll just pick the 1 for just the thunder suit, please.
Okay, cool. So, do you want the curtains to close, or you just want to let this go out? Because, like, That's at will. If you want people to hear what this is all about, you can.
Sure.
choice is yours.
Yeah. Let's go. Sorry, I'm tripping on my own words here.
It's okay.
But
It's been a long
yeah,
day.
let's. Yeah, the king wait drinks a glass of water.
Oh, go ahead. It's at this point that you're both seated, and you're keeping the curtain open, or you're closing it?
Open, please.
Open? Okay. A lot of you... Excuse me. I just repped. A lot of you can gather around a little bit to kind of be within earshot, if you'd like. I'm going to assume that you are. But
Sit within earshot.
you and Mother Mauve sit together, and she does the same thing, except she doesn't, like, require you to hold her hand or anything like in a seance manner. You just lay the Thunder Tooth on the table, and she kind of looks at it. She kind of looks at it really doe-eyed. Not like a, ooh, I could sell this for a higher amount of money kind of doe-eyed. She's just kind of like dumbfounded by looking at it. Pardon me, sir, I don't mean to pry, but, wherever did you find this?
You're not gonna like this when you're probably not gonna like what you're probably not gonna like what I have to say when you hear this. Literally just found it.
You literally found it, like how? Was it stuck in a stone? Was it... Huh. You know, maybe it's better to ask... Maybe it's better to ask fewer questions. You are a paying customer.
Alright, fine, I'll try, but I can't promise you it'll make any more sense.
This is creating more questions than needed. You are a paying customer, thanks to your friend. And then she kind of does like a motion toward Celia. He's like, okay. And then she draws her holy symbol, and she places her hand gingerly on the non-serrated part of the blade. She's like, oh, the divine of Grachella and the Fey wild that surround us. Divulge to me the information that surrounds this item. Unveil its mysteries. Okay, where is the stat block for this boy? Where is the stat block? You know what? Let me just open up your character sheet. I might have to like type something in there real quick.
Do you want me to copy paste it from there?
I got it. I got saved. I have it saved. Here we go. Perfect. I can also give you the new description too, so you can just copy and paste it. Boop.
Thank you.
Magic.
Sorry, I'm gonna type.
Imagine if Galway took the 2 slots, and when she went to identify the arrows, she's like, "Yep, those are some pointy arrows."
I would like you to check this sword again.
Yeah,
Sure,
these arrows are all pointy. Thank you. Honestly, you could have just taken this to any old fella. He'd probably be just some pointy arrows. Hey, if you pay for it, then I'm not complaining.
To say, like, out of character while Randy types this, like, I was almost tempted to, like, ask the book to identify itself.
I mean,
Shame you didn't try it.
No, I figured it was better I resolve the social tension, and I figured that would be a good way to do it with money.
Hey, loads of money.
Just you do the inspection while the book is open. And you just see the words like, "Why are you touching me like that?"
So this has given me some information. I guess what will come into play in future sessions, so that I can ask it some questions.
Celia, I want to investigate the book. Why are you staring at me?
Why are you staring at me? Okay, I have the thing typed.
Stop staring at me with them
It's
big
like-
old eyes.
So son, what do you have here? And I don't know how you feel about hearing this. I understand there is tension in these lands with the Dragonborn, especially our Duchess is of a Dragonborn currently. You know the name of this weapon. This is the Thunder Tooth. In the Great Wars past, by the first kobold that fought in the Dragon Wars of ancient past in a different plane, the first dragonborn was created when the kobold pulled the tooth from the maw of the worm that vanquished their homelands. What this does is any time that you are forcibly knocked out of the air and you hit the ground, it will cast the spell Thunderwave as a second level spell. Translation, it will shoot out thunder from 15 feet where you hit, and it will deal 3d8 thunder damage.
Oh.
You have to
Nasty.
receive fall damage, though. You have to
Okay.
receive fall damage.
Alright.
So it's a thing of, like, yeah, you're still gonna get knocked out of the air, but, like, if you are holding this, if you're holding your bow, nothing. If you're holding your sword, you can totally do it. Because your bow is a two-handed weapon.
Yeah, I'm seeing the payout here.
Yeah. So it will give you incentive to then fight instead of just be like, shoot.
Shoot.
Spoilers, I'm never giving you a magical bow, because that's broken. I will always give you magical ammo, but I'm like,
No
Magic
taken.
woke Thundertooth.
everything is essentially the same. The you know what? Let me give you something else here. Let's see. Yada magical yada. Oh, did I remove something? I sure did. When you hit with an attack, it just straight up adds 4 thunder damage now. No roll needed. There you go.
Thank you.
That's better. It's like, so child, I need to tell you something about this weapon. These are one of the crest of the worms. I don't know if you know much about the region of Dedrithar. Well, it used to be known as a different name, but we don't talk about Loran anymore.
I'm afraid I only know so much. I was from the sanctuary, and
Yes.
I never necessarily grew up around there.
Something that I will tell you is, if you are around Dedrithar and any of those Dragonborn see you wielding this, they will charge you down and beat you to a pulp to take it. This weapon is a sign of status. Holding it, you'll be recognized as a nobility of the Dragonborn.
We get a load of this guy.
In
Wings
other
and
words,
nobility. God, is there anyone you don't know, Gowler? Pish. I'm not
So-
saying that in
well-
character, by the way. I'm making a joke.
well,
Please.
I guess that's one way to become a celebrity.
It's a mean.
So you're kind of
Something that I will tell you.
is like, don't get too excited
Something
about it.
something that I will tell you is that the status of a leader is very volatile. If you are seen as a coward, an underhand, or ne'er-do-well, you are just as likely as to be sentenced to the guillotine and lose that status and your life.
Well, I suppose I suppose a holy figure would be a better person than any to tell that I've had my fair share in all three. May
Meta, doesn't your character come from a background of, like, near poverty too?
practically
Nice. Alright, cool.
a borderline mob even.
And something is when Mauve kind of moves her hand off of the Thundertooth, she accidentally kind of brushes your hand. And she looks up at you instinctually, and she kind of looks up at your scarf. The place where you had the card previously. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I need to get you a friend, but I may be interested in casting Identify another time. Free of charge.
I see. Thank you. The
Her
opportunity
eyes do not dart from your scarf, by the way. They're, like, locked on. It's like as if she could see through it and know what's in it.
I mean, she does look fairly similar, doesn't she?
I was gonna make a joke about it. I was gonna. No.
You can kind of see her demeanor completely changes here. She is more on the look of anxiety and fear and loathing. But she kind of cricks her neck over to be like, all right, ma'am, feel free to bring on over what you have.
He like gets up from sitting on the ground.
Yeah. Before Galler walks off,
Tia, sit.
he just gives a concerned look like Thank you again.
Feel free to take notes on your sheet about that, because I will hopefully not forget. I will have to take notes on my own damn session.
About
Don't worry, I'll listen to this back.
That she wants to identify your
Oh yeah. Thank you.
And also that Dragonborn thing. That might be a little good to
Adding
know
that
too.
to my notes
That
right
will
now.
be a good thing to remember, because holy shit, it's gonna feel like bullying if a bunch of Dragonborns come up and they all just bum rush you the moment you draw it.
get slaughtered out of nowhere.
Oh god.
Let dragons fight dragons is what most people say. Ah, that would have been a great thing to say in character. Forget I said that so I can use that next time, please. All right, Tia, it is your time, Tia. Step forward.
Tia time.
Now, this table is pretty huge, so Saru's like, Madam, could you just hold it upright? I don't know if it's going to fit on my nice table. And with a nice finish. It's like a marble finish table, too. She's like, yeah, don't put that shit on my table. So she reaches her hand in this, and she goes through the same process of being
So
like...
curtain, please. Just as a note.
Be like, oh,
Pain.
what are you doing? Are you keeping them open or are you closing them?
Closing.
Oh, you're closing. Fuck off, everyone. This is private.
Private.
All right. It's at this time. She's like, all right, lass, are you ready?
Yes.
Alrighty. So she reaches up and she puts her hand on her holy symbol and the tome here. And she says the same thing. I was going to make a joke, but I'm going to ruin the tension if I do so.
God.
I was going to say, everybody repeat after me. Make a lick a high, make a hiney ho. I'm like,
Honestly, I would have welcomed it because you've already repeated the seance like 2 times. I would have been like, oh, I
have you
don't blame
noticed
you.
that they're completely different?
Yeah.
That was intentional. She's like, it's like, oh yes, gods of the Feywilds, and I guess Grishella as well. Divulge me the information pertaining to this weapon here. And it's at this moment that her eyes like snap open, and she keeps to a hushed tone, just like, 2 in the same day? How do they find me?
Very carefully.
God.
Madam, this is not precisely the same. What you have here is a dead Brathal relic.
Oh.
How did you come across this?
It like looks at the glaive and is like, it was a gift from someone who is like me. I haven't felt close to someone like that in a long time, so it means a lot.
I don't know.
And when Tia says like me, she means Dragonborn.
Yeah. Mauve doesn't really pick that up, but it's okay. Mauve speaks up. She's like, "This is the ivory glaive temperance. Something I can tell you is like, while this is a heavy weapon, it, by your kind, has previously been thrown in skirmishes, and it has emitted a terrifying white-hot flame. And, you know, during the wars and years past, people that were hit with that flame were never quite the same afterward. It's almost like they completely lost their force of personality, their force of will. The only people that ever really recovered were the ones that succumbed to it. Again, these are just hearsay. These are stories. As you know, from being war-torn from... Well, madam, I don't want to assume. I don't think you are from the same thread as those warmongers from years past. I should certainly hope you're not.
Out of character, is she?
Is she?
Is she talking about like to the same land or like as a faction?
Family. Family, whether through marriage or through birth.
Oh, a family of
We can also go to be determined, if you like that route better.
I just forgot what you said, so I just wanted it like repeated.
I imagine you wouldn't be. I imagine
okay,
the entire reason for your character's backstory is to avoid going into that family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Uh, upon like, it takes Tia a moment before she like noticeably goes pale and is like, no, and she like turns away. And it's weird because it's like the first time she's ever like turned her gaze away from being like disturbed or something.
all I'm going to tell you is be careful how you use it.
Well,
Tools are
doesn't
meant to
that
be
sound-
used, but be careful how you use it.
That sounds familiar.
Also,
Thank you.
meta information. This is a thrown weapon. The small range is at normal. The long range is at disadvantage. In the case of extra attack, if you miss it with an attack, it will blink back to your hands. I'm gonna have to change that. I literally just thought about extra attack right now.
Oh.
So it will work. So do not worry. Well, worry as much as you want, but don't worry about the extra attack thing. Like it will. You can use it for extra attack if you want to throw it. The thing I will say though is doing the command word. You can only do that once per turn. I will need to throw the limitation on it. Let me put that in there right now.
Guess I'll rename this.
There you go. And then it's at this
Yeah,
point. Is at this point that Mav is like, I don't know where you come from, but do you have any questions for me?
Can I ask for some DM intervention? Do you think there's any worthwhile questions I could ask as I'm blanking?
I'm just as blank as you are, dude.
That's a question you could ask?
I'm like,
I mean, I'm asking it because I'm stupid.
I don't want to interfere with your character creation too much because I'm already trying to run a whole game here and keep things lore rich.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Keep this information, internalize it, think about it. Let me know how you feel later. It is your backstory, you decide. So that's a no.
I'm gonna ask, is there one way you could tell me, at least, how not to use it? And she, like, looks up at it. Nervous.
And then Mav is like, unfortunately, my dear, I'm not proficient with pole arms.
But of course. Feel 1 -2 intelligence. Passes on to the player as well. Well, that's all I got.
All right. So the curtains burst open.
Tia gets up as she holds the glaive. Really quiet as she steps out.
It's Tia? Are you okay?
And she like perks up. She's like, "Oh no, Tia is fine. No problems.
Celia
Very
can immediately,
insightful one."
Celia can immediately tell you're lying.
Ooh.
Is it okay just saying that, or do you want to like roll for that?
Do you guys want a contest real quick? I'm willing to do that.
No, I feel like it'd be pretty in character. Tia's a bad liar.
Okay.
Yeah. I am
Wears her heart
pretty
on
respected though. She's like, okay, maybe we can talk about it later. But yeah.
As this is happening, Mav is sitting in the booth again, and she has her legs crossed, and she kind of motions to you, Galler, with her finger, like the "come here" motion.
Come hither.
And as you're approaching, she poses you this question. Tell me, dear, was there a certain name told to you as you found this?
Oh god, is this a trivia question?
This is something that you were told when it was given to you. If you were going to make a comment earlier on a theory, now would be the time.
Well, there is one that comes to mind.
And what would that name be?
He slowly clears his throat and he tries Tries bringing his mind back to the tunnel and the game of blackjack. Jamie.
It's at this point that Mauve hops up onto this table, and she stomps her foot down on the tome hard, and she raises her holy symbol and then grabs you by the scarf, and she's like, "Tell me, how did you know my 3-year-old daughter's name?" End of session.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow! Like I immediately recognized the resemblances as you were describing her, but that's not what I was expecting.
Yep.
Well then.
Spoilers. Characters you know do exist in the setting.
I'm shenanigans.
Wow.
It seems we have indeed shenaned again.
Can't believe it.
You are the time thief, as they say. I'm also
I
going.
almost
It's
forgot.
like I'm also going to quickly end the VOD to keep this short.